Chapter 160. At this time, in the ring. Huh? Xia Ping's eyes flashed, and the system sounded, "Congratulations to the host, you have attracted a lot of hatred, and now you have accumulated 100,000 hatred points. The system's authority has been upgraded, and the authority has been upgraded." Authority upgrade? What does this mean? Xia Ping asked, very curious. Although he was very happy that he had gained 100,000 hatred points, he was more curious about the system's authority. The system replied, "Every time the authority is upgraded, more functions of the system can be unlocked. The host has accumulated 100,000 hatred points, triggering the conditions for the system's authority upgrade. Next time you want to upgrade the authority, you must accumulate 1,000,000 hatred points." Interesting, what is the function of this authority upgrade? Xia Ping wanted to know this. The system said, after the authority upgrade, the host can track every enemy who has hatred towards the host, and even spend hatred points to know the basic information of the enemy and the specific location. What? Xia Ping was shocked and immediately overjoyed. This authority was of great benefit to him. Even if he knew that someone had killing intent against him, he couldn't know who it was. Even if someone wanted to retaliate against him, he couldn't find the enemy, and he could only wait for the other party to make a move. But with this authority, things like what happened to Zhou Tai and last time would never happen. He could completely take precautions and completely kill the enemy. Host, someone just had a strong killing intent against the host, do you want to spend hatred points to understand? The metallic voice of the system came out. You need 1,000 hatred points. Strong killing intent? Who is it? Xia Ping's eyes flashed, and he instinctively felt a little uneasy, and immediately said, "Spend it immediately." Anyway, 1,000 hatred points is not a lot for him. Yes, host. The system said. With a bang, suddenly, the system immediately sent a warm current, and immediately a clear picture appeared in Xia Ping's mind. It was the scene when Zhou Quan had killing intent against him in the living room of the villa in the distance. This picture is the moment when the system captures the enemy's killing intent. Although the time is very short, it is enough to understand most of the information about the other party. Zhou Tai En's uncle, Zhou Ding's elder brother Zhou Quan. He found a clue and wants to find me for revenge. Xia Ping couldn't help clenching his fists, and his eyes revealed a terrible killing intent. He clearly remembered the scene where his mother was hit by a car and sent to the hospital. He would never allow such a thing to happen again. No matter who wanted to hurt his family, they must pay the price. Host, the enemy has the strength of the first heaven of the martial artist realm. He has many henchmen and the level is dangerous. The system said. This Zhou Quan must die. Xia Ping knew that Zhou Quan was an extremely dangerous figure in the underworld. He was like a venomous snake, vicious and merciless. He was even crueler than Zhou Ding. There was no way to reason with such an underworld character, and the other party would definitely not reason with you. The only way was to kill until the other party was terrified, and then cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. Only then could it end. When the award ceremony is over, I'll go kill him. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he didn't show it. The killing intent in his heart was brewing, but he didn't show it. Because the award ceremony was about to begin, he couldn't leave immediately. Otherwise, it would definitely cause a huge uproar. Fortunately, the award ceremony didn't take too long. He just stood on the podium, received the champion's trophy, and let some news reporters take pictures. However, the runner-up Qin Muyang didn't come. Instead, the first middle school found another student to receive the award on his behalf. It was said that he was still in emergency treatment and couldn't attend. Although the surrounding students were not convinced that Xia Ping won the championship, there was nothing they could do. After more than an hour, the award ceremony finally ended. Xia Ping planned to leave. At this moment, a man in black immediately came up and stopped Xia Ping. He said, "Mr. Xia, a big shot wants to see you." I wonder if you have time now. A big shot wants to see me. Xia Ping stared at the man in black. He could feel a strong aura coming from him. It was far beyond the martial artist realm, as if he had reached a higher realm. His martial arts strength was extremely terrifying. Yes. The man in black smiled. This is a great opportunity. Once you seize it, there will be endless benefits. I guess all the families in Tianshui City are eager to get it, but they can't do anything about it. Xia Ping's heart skipped a beat. He used the system to sense that the man didn't have any malicious intent, nor did he have any killing intent. There was only friendliness. It probably wasn't a trap. Okay, you lead the way. Xia Ping immediately agreed. He wasn't in a hurry to deal with Zhou Quan. He wanted to see who this so-called big shot was first. Whoosh! Soon, they came to a building behind the stadium. It was heavily guarded. Many police officers were guarding this place, but no one stopped them. The two went directly to a hall on the second floor. The hall was spacious, as if it was a training room. In the hall, there was an old man in white standing with his hands behind his back. Behind him were 4 or 5 men in black. Xia Ping could immediately feel that the aura of the old man in white was very unusual. It seemed to be covered by a layer of special energy, as if he was in harmony with nature. He seemed to be completely integrated with nature and was extremely powerful. You're finally here. The old man in white smiled at Xia Ping and said, "Come on, punch me." What? Hearing this, Xia Ping was completely dumbfounded. Was this old man crazy? Why did he ask people to punch him? Was he trying to blackmail him? Mr. Xia, don't worry. If Elder Feng asks you to do it, just do it. With your current strength, you're far from being able to hurt even a hair of Elder Feng. The man in black next to him laughed. Hearing this, Xia Ping immediately felt relieved. He steadied his horse stance and punched the old man in white. Dragon Fist, Divine Dragon goes to sea. With a punch, there seemed to be a dragon's roar in the void. The air was distorted and the chi vibrated. An extremely ferocious power erupted. A force of tens of thousands of kilograms suddenly exploded. The pupils of the men in black next to him shrank. They were secretly amazed. Even though they saw this kid's battle on the screen, they only realized that it was more terrifying than they had imagined when they saw it up close. With just a punch like this, an ordinary expert in the first heaven of the martial artist realm might not be a match for him. Good timing. The old man in white smiled. His eyes were filled with excitement. He gently slapped his palm towards Xia Ping's fist. Boom! The two collided, causing a series of explosions. The hall shook. What? Chapter 161. Not bad, not bad. The old man in white took Xia Ping's palm and looked at him with admiration. He said, "You're only in the 9th heaven of the martial disciple realm, yet you can display such power. You've cultivated the 5 forms fist to the acme of perfection. It's really amazing." He paused and stared at Xia Ping. But what's even more amazing is that you've opened a little bit of the Baihui acupoint in the martial disciple realm and cultivated spiritual power. It seems that your spiritual power is quite strong. I don't know how much stronger it is than ordinary people. What? Xia Ping was taken aback. With just a single punch, this old man seemed to have seen through his entire body. This old man's eyesight was terrifying to the point of being a complete mess. It can't be. He has cultivated spiritual power at the martial disciple realm. How is this possible? The group of men in black behind him were shocked and looked at Xia Ping in disbelief. They had seen many martial artists at the age of 18. After all, there were countless geniuses in this world. If they were willing to accumulate resources, it was not difficult to advance to the martial disciple realm. However, to cultivate spiritual power at the martial disciple realm, it was not something that could be achieved with resources. There must be extremely monstrous talent. That's right, I have indeed cultivated spiritual power, Xia Ping admitted. Hearing this, the old man in white suddenly smiled. Sure enough, your spiritual power is quite strong. By the way, how far can your spiritual power cover now? He looked at Xia Ping curiously. I haven't measured it carefully. About 120 meters. If I use my full strength, it may be farther. Xia Ping replied. 120 meters. The group of black-clothed men at the side were all stunned, and all of them were quite frightened. Ordinary martial warriors who had just cultivated their psychic energy would be considered pretty good if they could spread it 2 to 3 meters. However, this kid was only in the martial disciple realm and his spiritual power had reached more than 100 meters. This kind of spiritual power was more than 10 times that of ordinary people. It was too amazing. The old man in white also trembled a little and stared at Xia Ping. Sure enough, you're a rare genius in 100 years. You're so powerful at the martial disciple realm. Once you advance to the martial disciple realm, won't you be heaven-defying? For a martial artist, the strength of one's soul was extremely important. The stronger one's soul was, the more powerful one's mental strength would be. It would even increase the speed of one's comprehension of martial arts. This was talent. There were some pills and elixirs that could make up for the body's flaws, making the body even stronger. However, there were almost no elixirs that could increase one's soul power. It could be said that this was innate, destined from birth. Even if there were peerless treasures that could increase one's soul power, those treasures weren't something that ordinary people could afford. It was estimated that the entire Tianshui city wouldn't even have enough to exchange. As for Xia Ping, he had lived 2 lives. His 2 souls had fused together and had undergone a mutation. His soul force was at least 10 times stronger than an ordinary person's. After going through the tempering of a peak cultivation technique, the pure yang immortal art, it had become even stronger. Oh right. The white-robed old man stared at Xia Ping and suddenly asked, do you know of the giant company? Giant company? Of course I know. Xia Ping nodded matter-of-factly. If anyone living on Yanhuang planet didn't know of the giant company, then he wasn't from Yanhuang planet at all. Because the giant company was simply a super conglomerate of the entire Yanhuang planet. Its business penetrated into all walks of life. Virtual networks, maglev trains, smart homes, network communications, hotels, real estate, shipping, and so on, were all controlled by the giant company. It could be said that this was simply a superorganization. Some people think that its power was almost above that of the Federation government. This was a truly transcendent force. Of course, there were also 2 organizations that could be compared with the giant company. One was the Life Company, which controlled more than 50% of the medical drugs on the entire Yanhuang planet. It produced a large number of pills and energy potions. For example, the Golden Potion was produced by this company. Such a company was simply a pharmaceutical giant, and no one knew how much money they had made. The remaining company was the Aurora Corporation. It was an arms giant that manufactured countless weapons, such as Aurora pistols, sniper rifles, aircraft carriers, remote sensing satellites, smart missiles, nuclear bombs, and so on. They were all manufactured by this company. It integrated the most advanced war technology on the entire planet. It was simply a monster-like organization. It had a deep relationship with the military. Some people called it a war machine. And these 3 super companies were the 3 super giants that ruled the entire Yanhuang planet. They were tyrannical martial arts organizations above the Federation government. Everyone knew about them. It's good that you know. The white-clothed old man smiled. This old man is Feng Ru, the head of the giant company's Yangzhou district. The head of the Yangzhou district. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. A big shot, this was definitely a super big shot. To be able to become the head of the giant company's Yangzhou district, such an identity was enough to be compared with the #1 chief of Yangzhou district. A casual sneeze from such a big shot could cause the entire Yangzhou district to catch a cold for 3 days, and the entire continent would be shaken. The reason why I came to you this time is also very simple. The white-clothed old man Feng Ru looked at Xia Ping. I want to invite you to join the giant company and become a member of the giant company. He was simple and direct. Invite me to join the giant company? Xia Ping blinked. The white-clothed old man Feng Ru nodded. Yes, that's it. The giant company has been absorbing the most talented people on the planet and letting them receive the best training. Those who can join the giant company are all geniuses among geniuses. Ordinary geniuses are not qualified to join at all, nor will they be invited. Of course, joining the giant company will also bring endless benefits. Not only can you get a large number of heavenly materials and earthly treasures that can't be bought with money in the world, but you can also get a variety of top martial arts manuals. There will also be Grandmaster Realm powerhouses and even King Realm powerhouses coming to personally guide you. Xia Ping clenched his fists, and his mind was surging. After the Martial Disciple Realm was the Martial Warrior Realm, then the Martial Master Realm, then the Grandmaster Realm, and then the King Realm. This was the realm of transcendence. Once you reached the King Realm, you could split the land and be crowned king. Even the laws of the Federation government couldn't do anything to you. Such a character couldn't even be killed by a nuclear bomb, and their lifespan was more than 1,000 years. If such a character came to personally guide you, the benefits would be unimaginable. No matter how much money you offered, you wouldn't be able to invite them. After all, how could such a character be bought with money? At this level, it was too easy to want money. With just a word, who knew how many people would rush to give money to them? Chapter 162. How is it? The white-robed old man Feng Ru looked at Xia Ping. Such a quota is priceless. Some families want to pay billions of federal coins to join, but it's impossible. If you aren't an absolute genius, you won't have such a chance. And now, you have such a chance. As long as you pass the trial, you can join the giant company and become one of us. The black-robed men at the side all looked at Xia Ping with envy. They were merely followers of the white-robed old man. It was impossible for them to join the giant company. Not to mention the fact that Elder Feng had taken the initiative to invite this brat. The difference between them was too great. After joining the giant company, can't I apply for university? Xia Ping wanted to know this. The white-robed old man Feng Ru smiled. Of course not. Even if you join the giant company, you can still go to university. Or rather, we hope that you can continue to study and become stronger. You can understand it this way. The various universities of the Federation are public training bases for martial artists. As for the various martial arts organizations, they are places for the graduates to work after they graduate. I believe you know that some martial artists choose to join private companies after they graduate. Some choose to establish their own companies, some join the Federation, and some become soldiers. However, in order to compete for martial artists with potential, many factions start to compete from high school. Xia Ping nodded. Whether or not a martial artist had potential and whether or not they could enter the extreme realm of martial arts could be seen from high school. There was no doubt about it. Of course, there were some who had average results in high school and exploded in university. However, it was very rare and could be ignored. Hence, many martial arts organizations would pay attention to the geniuses of the various schools. Once they had a bit of potential, they would be scavenged and signed in advance, allowing them to join their organization. After all, there were only so many geniuses. If others snatched one away, there would be one less. Of course, they had to act first. But what does this trial mean? Xia Ping continued to ask. This is a test for you to join the giant company. Everyone who wants to join the giant company must participate. There are no exceptions. Only by passing can you officially join. The white-robed old man Feng Ru smiled. This trial is very difficult, but that's only for normal martial artists. I believe that for you, this trial is as easy as flipping your hand. He had full confidence in Xia Ping. He was only in the martial disciple realm, but he had cultivated spiritual power. He could challenge those of a higher level and defeat those in the martial disciple realm. If such a person could not pass the trial, he did not know who could. At this point, Xia Ping had already made up his mind. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Once he joined the giant company, he would have the protection of this gigantic entity. Who would dare to touch him? No matter how much trouble he caused, the giant company would be able to easily resolve it. This was a powerful backing. Not to mention, he could also use the giant company to obtain all sorts of peak-level martial arts manuals, as well as all sorts of heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures to constantly increase his cultivation base. At that time, even if this super hatred system disappeared, he could still rely on the giant company to rapidly rise up and become stronger. It would be stupid to refuse. What do you think? Are you interested in joining? Fang Ru looked at Xia Ping. Xia Ping nodded. I'll join. Very good. Fang Ru smiled. He was very happy. He had finally obtained a peerless genius. Even to him, the person in charge of the Yangzhou region, this was a relatively great contribution. Although the giant company was a major power, they still thirsted for martial arts geniuses. It was precisely because the giant company had an endless supply of martial arts geniuses that they were able to maintain their status as a major power. With a pa sound, he pressed the smart watch on his wrist. A virtual projection was immediately projected out. After that, he stretched out his hand and lightly tapped on it, sending a document to Xia Ping's handphone. Oh right, this is the contract for you to join the giant company. After you sign this contract, it will have legal effects and you will be considered to have joined the giant company. Don't worry, the contract of the giant company is still very lenient to martial artists. Xia Ping took out his handphone and looked at it in detail. The contract of the giant company was considered to be more lenient to martial artists. It was merely an employment contract and not a slave contract. Some martial arts organizations were very sinister. They would purposely take out a fraudulent contract, a slave contract, attempting to bind the martial artist for a lifetime. Some martial arts geniuses had fallen into their traps because of this. As a result, they spent decades fighting lawsuits, and both sides suffered losses. However, the giant company was one of the three superpowers of Yanhuang's star. It disdained to make such a trap contract. Its name alone was enough to attract countless genius martial artists to join. By maintaining justice, they could continue to maintain their status as a major power. Thinking of this, Xia Ping clicked on the contract, bound it to his ID card, and teleported back. Very good. Seeing that Xia Ping had signed the contract, the white-clothed old man Fang Ru smiled even more brilliantly and said, after a week, we will begin the trial. At that time, I will send someone to the school to pick you up personally. Won't it delay the college entrance examination? Xia Ping asked. Fang Ru waved his hand. Don't worry, the trial will probably last for a month. There are still 2 months before the college entrance examination. As for the school, I will also send someone to help you apply for leave. Okay, go back and prepare well. Work hard to improve your martial arts cultivation. The better your performance in this trial, the greater the benefits you will get. He vaguely reminded Xia Ping. Okay. Xia Ping nodded, then he turned and left the hall. When he came to the first floor, he immediately saw a group of middle-aged men in black suits, exuding a high-ranking aura. They were all waiting at the door. Xia Ping immediately recognized that these middle-aged men in black suits were not simple. All of them were high-ranking officials and tycoons of Tianshui City. Some of them were even members of parliament and mayors who often appeared on TV. Even if he didn't care about politics, he knew the reputation of these people. After all, to put it bluntly, this group of people was the sky of the entire Tianshui City. nephew Xia. At this time, a fat man with a big belly came up. He looked at Xia Ping with a smile and a very enthusiastic attitude. You are? Xia Ping blinked his eyes. He didn't know this fat man, but he didn't know why he felt that this guy was very familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before. I am Feng Hatang's father, Feng Shan. The fat man in the suit said with a smile. Sure enough, he was Feng Hatang's father. Chapter 163. In reality, Xia Ping had underestimated the significance of him joining the giant company. No one knew better than the big shots of Tianshui City what it meant for Xia Ping to join the giant company. It meant that Xia Ping had already stepped onto the path of becoming a martial artist. Any genius who was invited to join the giant company would definitely become a King Realm expert as long as they didn't die along the way. Once they became a King Realm expert, they would immediately be given the title of king. They would have monstrous power and a single order could make tens of thousands of people bow down to them. Even the status of a general of the Federation was nothing. Clans like them from Skywater City could only bend their knees and flatter a King Realm expert. Because so long as the King Realm expert was displeased and casually said a few words, then their clan would vanish on the next day while their entire clan would be annihilated. One could imagine how terrifying a King Realm expert was. When facing such a monstrous genius that possessed a bright future and a future King Realm expert, if they didn't seize the opportunity while Xia Ping was weak to get to know him and curry favor with him, could it be that they intended to wait for Xia Ping to grow into a King Realm expert before doing so? At that time, they probably wouldn't even be able to enter the door. So it's Uncle Feng. Although Xia Ping didn't know why these people were so friendly, he knew that he didn't need to be afraid of them. It was enough as long as he didn't act humble. Hearing this, Feng Shan chuckled and seemed very happy. Nephew Xia is too polite. You don't know the identity of the people here, right? Let me introduce you. He stretched out his hand and pointed at a middle-aged man in a black suit. He had a square face and a powerful and dignified aura. This is our Tianshui City's Mayor Qin Fei. Hello, Mayor Qin. Xia Ping looked at Mayor Qin and nodded in greeting. This was probably Qin Muyang's father. As expected of the mayor, he was an old fox who had been in politics for a long time and was very shrewd. Even when he defeated Qin Muyang in the finals, the mayor didn't show any displeasure. Nephew Xia is too polite. Congratulations on joining the giant company. From now on, you will probably soar into the sky. In the future, you will definitely be the pride of Tianshui City. Qin Fei smiled and was very kind. Then, Feng Shan pointed to another very elegant middle-aged man with gold-rimmed glasses. He looked very gentle. This is the deputy mayor of Tianshui City, Lu Jianghe. Hello, Mayor Lu. Xia Ping also lightly nodded his head. This person should be Lu Yang's father. He could sense a cold aura coming from the other party. He probably wasn't as refined and gentle as he looked on the surface. When he was truly vicious, he might be even more terrifying than his son, Lu Yang. As for Lu Yang, compared to his father, Lu Jianghe, he was far inferior. Just in terms of shrewdness, he was far from being comparable. A dog that really bites doesn't bark. Once he made a move, it would be a vicious one, leaving no room for maneuver. Nice to meet you, Nephew Xia. Congratulations on becoming the champion of the fighting competition. You truly deserve it. Lu Jianghe also smiled slightly, as if there was no displeasure to be seen. Even though the other party had defeated his son and humiliated him in the arena, he did not seem to care at all. His attitude was like a spring breeze. Regarding this situation, Xia Ping could only sigh. These old foxes in the officialdom were not simple. Their patience alone was not something that ordinary people could compare with. Without dozens of years of cultivation, it was impossible to reach this level. That's right, this is Representative Huang, that is Representative Li, and this is Representative Chen. Feng Shan introduced the next members one after another. Each one of them was a big shot of Sky Water City and a high-ranking member of each big family. When he introduced the last person, he paused and said, "This is the patriarch of the Nangong family, Nangong Hai." He pointed to the last middle-aged man wearing a white suit. He looked very handsome, completely like a handsome uncle. Hearing this, Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He also greeted, and very enthusiastically said, "Dad." "What?" When Nangong Hai heard this, he almost jumped up in anger. Half of his face turned green. What was this little bastard called? Who was he calling Dad? Did he even know how to speak? The other people also had a strange expression. Of course, they also knew about the relationship between this little brat and Nangong Wu during the qualifiers. Could it be that the two of them already had an affair? Otherwise, why would he call him Dad? "I'm not your dad." Nangong Hai's face was very black, and his attitude was very stiff. To tell the truth, he did not have a good impression of this bastard. Of course, his martial arts talent was not fake, but the problem was that this guy was too dissolute, and had many girlfriends. If his daughter really followed this bastard, who knows how many hardships she would suffer. Even if he wanted to find a perfect son-in-law, he would never force his only baby daughter. The other big shots also snickered. They had never seen the big shot Nangong Hai reveal such an expression. "Oh, father-in-law." Xia Ping changed the way he said it. Nangong Hai's face became even darker. "I'm also not your father-in-law." This bastard's face was too thick. Did he think that by changing the way he called him, he would not be able to tell? Wanting to marry his baby daughter, how could it be so easy? "It doesn't matter, it will happen sooner or later." Xia Ping casually said, not caring at all. "Sooner or later my ass." Nangong Hai clenched his teeth and stared at Xia Ping. He suddenly felt that this bastard was too dangerous. If his daughter continued to come in contact with this guy, with his thick skin, coupled with his constant pestering, maybe in 2 or 3 days, he would be able to get his daughter. At that time, this bastard would bring little Xia Ping to his door to propose marriage. Even if he did not want to, he would have no choice but to accept it. No, starting tomorrow, he must guard against this Xia Ping. Once his daughter had any chance to get close to this bastard, he must immediately send people to stop her. Nangong Hai clenched his fists. He immediately regarded Xia Ping as the most dangerous person. Cough, cough. Seeing Nangong Hai's face turn black like coal, Feng Shan could not help but cough. He helped Nangong Hai out and said, "Nephew Xia, in fact, we came here to find you for one thing. Tomorrow night, we will hold a party at the Sky Water Hotel, specially responsible for receiving the top 16 geniuses of the fighting tournament. I hope you will do me the honor of attending." He said the purpose of them coming here. They held this party in the hope that their future generations would come in contact with this monster and establish a good relationship. After all, no matter how the elders deliberately tried to get close, it was not as good as making friends with the same generation. "Okay, I will definitely attend." Xia Ping hesitated for a moment, but finally nodded. After all, these were invitations from the big shots of Sky Water City. It was impossible for him to refuse. In any case, his parents, as well as his various relatives and friends, all lived in Sky Water City. Their basic necessities were all here. There was no need to become enemies with these big shots. That's great. This is the invitation. I hope that nephew Xia will be able to grace us with his presence, Feng Shan said with a smile. Xia Ping nodded, took the invitation, and turned to leave. Chapter 164. In a secret warehouse on the outskirts of Tianshui City, there was no one around. It could be regarded as an abandoned warehouse, with all kinds of metal garbage piled up nearby. At this time, there was a group of people gathered together in the warehouse. It was Zhou Quan and the others. "Boss, this place has been searched." A man in black looked at Zhou Quan and said, "There is no one around, and very few people come to this warehouse. It has been used as a garbage dump." Even if someone were to shout and scream here, no one would notice. This is a good place to hide people. Another black-clothed man also said in a deep voice, just a few hours ago, we have also investigated the situation of Xia Ping's family, the surveillance cameras along the way, as well as the retreat route. I have clearly investigated, it is already foolproof. Once we capture Xia Ping's family, we can disappear silently and safely retreat to this warehouse. I guarantee that the police will not be able to trace any clues. He was a veteran of kidnapping and was very familiar with these things. Zhou Quan was very satisfied. Well done. Xia Ping has just won the fighting competition and is the focus of the whole city. He is a public figure. Once he goes missing, there will be a huge uproar. You must do it flawlessly, otherwise, if the police see any flaws, we will all be finished. His tone was very strict, and he would not allow any failure. Speaking of this, a man in black hesitated and said, Boss, now we have no evidence to prove that Xia Ping killed Zhou Ding and the others. If we make a move on them and find out that we found the wrong person, I am afraid it will cause big trouble. In any case, Xia Ping is a public figure and is known by countless people. Once our actions are leaked, I am afraid we will immediately be wanted by the police. His face was very solemn. After all, Xia Ping was not an unknown person. He had just won the fighting competition and was already considered a celebrity. Once such a person disappeared, it was bound to cause a stir in the police. Even if they did everything flawlessly, they would still feel a little flustered. They always felt that there might be a mistake somewhere, and then they might be caught by the police and die without a burial place. Shut up! Zhou Quan shouted angrily and stared at his subordinate, revealing a terrible murderous intent. Evidence? Are you misunderstanding something? Only the police need evidence to do things. We underworld people do not need evidence to do things. As long as there's a trace of suspicion, it's enough. I'd rather kill 1,000 wrongly than let one go. So what if he's wrong? He's just unlucky. I, Zhou Quan, have killed people who have been wronged. Xia Ping's family is not the only one. If he wants to blame someone, he can only blame himself for daring to provoke my Zhou clan. This is the road to his death, so who else can he blame? He was murderous and vengeful, and he was simply like a ferocious and cruel venomous snake. So long as an enemy was targeted by him, then he would bite them to death and would absolutely not give up. Poor fellow. The 4 or 5 black-clothed men shook their heads, feeling pity for Xia Ping. This brat could be considered a genius with a boundless future. In the future, he might even become a grandmaster-level expert. But now that he was being targeted by someone as ruthless as Zhou Quan, he had already taken half a step into hell. There was no future for him. Geniuses were only terrifying when they grew up. Geniuses that didn't grow up were nothing more than this. Listen up. Zhou Quan stared at his subordinates and said, this time, we have to succeed. We have to make sure that nothing goes wrong. If anyone makes a mistake, I will take his life. His words revealed a terrifying killing intent. Yes, boss. The few subordinates were all stunned and did not dare to say anything against it. They knew how terrifying their boss was. He would not go back on his word and would not show any mercy. There's no need for that. Let me take their lives for you. All of a sudden, a voice rang out in the warehouse, echoing in the area. It was like the sound of death. Who is it? As an expert in the first heaven of the martial artist realm, Zhou Quan suddenly felt his hair stand on end. Sensing the danger of death coming from all around him, every pore on his body shrank. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, 4 or 5 stones immediately flew out from the air, cutting through the air like black lightning. With a shrill sound, they bombarded the black-clothed men. With a few bangs, the 4 or 5 black-clothed men who were standing on the spot did not even have time to react. Their heads were immediately penetrated by the stones and exploded like watermelons, blood splattering everywhere. Then, their bodies fell to the ground with a loud bang, and a large amount of dust was sent flying. In just a breath's time, all these subordinates were dead. Bastard, who was it? Who killed my men? Zhou Quan was furious to the extreme. A bastard of unknown origin actually dared to kill his men. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Da. At this moment, a figure walked out of the darkness, walking step by step. The sound of his footsteps sounded like he was stepping on the beating hearts of humans, and the atmosphere was oppressive and tense. Xia Ping. Seeing the appearance of this figure, Zhou Quan's pupils shrank. He could not believe his eyes. The enemy that he had planned to deal with had actually appeared in front of him. This was simply unbelievable. The first thing he felt was incomparable shock. When had his plan been leaked? Why did this brat come to him personally and even kill his men? You are Zhou Quan, Zhou Ding's elder brother. Xia Ping looked at Zhou Quan calmly. I heard that you planned to send people to kidnap my family and even wanted to kill me. You're quite bold. Have you thought about how you're going to die? A terrifying killing intent brewed in his calm tone, revealing his terrifying anger. If he had not known about this comprehensive plan in advance, his family would have been in trouble. He would never forgive such a cruel and ruthless enemy. How on earth did you know about my plan? Zhou Quan had no idea at all. It could be said that his plan was improvised and only took a few hours. Even if his men wanted to betray him, they would not have had the time. Go ask Hades. He might know something. With a bang, Xia Ping moved his hands. First style of the 7 arrows technique, piercing heart and bone. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In an instant, 2 to 3 stones flew over, tearing through the air with terrifying penetrative force. Once hit, even a boulder that weighed tens of thousands of kilograms would be pierced. Ridiculous. A mere martial disciple dares to attack a martial practitioner. Do you know that you're courting death? Zhou Quan sneered, revealing a ferocious look, and violent true qi surged from his body. Chapter 165. Bang! With a punch, a layer of white light appeared on Zhou Quan's fist. He released his genuine qi, showing his unparalleled strength. A terrifying roar came from the air, like the roar of a ferocious tiger. Before the 3 flying stones could get close, they were immediately smashed into powder by Zhou Quan's fist force. Not bad. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. He could immediately tell that Zhou Quan was stronger than Qin Muyang. Although they were both in the first heaven of the martial warrior realm, one was a veteran who had experienced hundreds of battles, while the other was a rookie who had just advanced. The two of them were fundamentally different. Ridiculous. This is too ridiculous. Zhou Quan stared at Xia Ping and sneered. Do you think you are invincible just because you defeated a rookie who had just advanced to the first heaven of the martial warrior realm? What a joke. I, Zhou Quan, have been in the first heaven of the martial warrior realm for many years. I have refined the genuine qi in my body and experienced hundreds of battles. What haven't I seen? How can a greenhouse flower compare to me? Although I don't know how you know my plan, it doesn't matter. I will break all the bones in your body, shatter your lungs, and slowly interrogate you. Believe me, you will be in a state where you will be begging for death. There was a deep murderous intent in his words, which made people shudder. Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, Zhou Quan immediately attacked. His whole body was like a black wolf, and his legs were like cannonballs. In an instant, he flew out, tearing the air apart. His speed was unbelievably fast. His whole body was filled with white genuine qi, emitting a tyrannical power. With a tornado-like airflow, he dashed forward. Go to hell! Zhou Quan shouted angrily. He threw a punch with the strength of tens of thousands of kilograms, which was enough to smash everything. Bang! Xia Ping raised his hand and slapped out, blocking Zhou Quan's path. The fist and the palm collided. It was like a Harley satellite hitting the earth. The whole air shook, and even the abandoned warehouse was shaking. Xia Ping's feet landed on the cement floor, and with a bang, 2 deep footprints appeared. Gravel flew everywhere, and cracking sounds rang out as cracks spread out. How is this possible? Even though he had created such a terrifying scene, Zhou Quan's eyes were filled with shock. Normally speaking, his punch was not something that a martial disciple could withstand. A single punch was more than enough to send the other party flying and shatter their bones. That was because the destructive power of a punch infused with Jinqi was unimaginable. However, when his fist collided with the other party's fist, it was as if it had sunk into a ball of cotton. All of the force was neutralized and transmitted to the ground, unable to harm the other party at all. Die. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a hint of coldness as he raised his left hand abruptly. Snake fist, venomous snake pierces the heart. In the blink of an eye, his left hand turned into a poisonous snake. Hissing sounds rang out in the air. His hand moved in a strange manner, as fast as lightning. He attacked in an instant. No, no, no. Zhou Quan's hair stood on end. His years of life and death experience told him that if he did not dodge this attack, he would definitely die today. However, the distance between him and Xia Ping was too short. It was only a few tens of centimeters away, and Xia Ping's attack was so fast that even a poisonous snake could not catch its prey. It did not even take 0.1 seconds for Xia Ping to attack. With such a fast attack speed and such a short distance, how could Zhou Quan block it? Boom! His left hand shot out, ruthless and powerful. In an instant, it pierced Zhou Quan's chest, like tofu, and then directly crushed his heart. With a snap, a large amount of blood flowed out of his chest and dripped on the ground. This. Zhou Quan's eyes widened, revealing a look of horror and unwillingness. A severe pain spread all over his body, and his mind could not think at this time. Even if he was beaten to death, he couldn't understand why his punch couldn't kill this kid. But how could Zhou Quan know the strength of Dark North's protective art? Even if Zhou Quan is a master who has advanced to the first heaven of the martial artist realm, it is impossible for him to surpass Qin Muyang in strength alone. The power of one punch was not enough to break Xia Ping's Dark North protective art. He didn't know this and dared to do his best to shorten the distance between him and Xia Ping, so he died. With a bang, Xia Ping took back his blood-stained left hand and looked at Zhou Quan in front of him indifferently. I can't accept it, I can't accept it. Zhou Quan roared to the sky, extremely sad and indignant. To think that he, a master of the first heaven of the martial artist realm, dominated the world, killed monsters, ruled countless subordinates, respected status, and enjoyed glory and wealth. But now, just because of a mistake, he died in the hands of a little kid in the martial disciple realm. He died in such a sullen way and his heart was blown up in one move. How could he accept it? But no matter how unwilling he was, no matter how unconvinced he was, he couldn't escape death. With a bang, his body fell and smashed on the ground. His neck was crooked and blood flowed on the ground. He had lost his breath of life. Even immortals couldn't save him. Zizizizi Xia Ping took out the corpse-dissolving water from his body and dripped it on the corpses of these people. Suddenly, these people turned into a wisp of green smoke and completely disappeared from this world. In order to commit a crime, these people had eliminated all traces of themselves so that the police wouldn't find any clues. They probably didn't expect that they would die and no one would know. What is this? When Zhou Quan's body disappeared and turned into a wisp of green smoke, Xia Ping found that the other party had left behind a white ceramic bottle. This was something that the corpse-dissolving water could not melt, so it was left behind. With a bang, he reached out to pick it up and opened the white porcelain bottle. Immediately, 2 or 3 round green pills were revealed, and they immediately emitted a strong medicinal aura. No way, this is the qi condensation pill. Seeing this pill, Xia Ping was immediately delighted and immediately recognized that these 3 pills were the legendary qi condensation pills. It was said that such a qi condensation pill was worth tens of millions of federal dollars. It was a pill specially refined to speed up the absorption of true qi by martial artists. It contained a huge amount of energy. Consuming such a pill was equivalent to saving a martial artist a year of cultivation. It was incomparably precious. He guessed that these 3 qi condensation pills were bought by Zhou Quan for his own cultivation. However, he didn't expect that he would die before he could take these 3 precious pills. Instead, he let others benefit from it. This is great. With these 3 qi condensation pills, maybe I can quickly advance to the peak of the martial disciple realm and break through to the martial artist realm. Xia Ping clenched his fists and was overjoyed. He had already opened up a part of the Baihui acupoint. As long as he advanced to the peak of the martial disciple realm, he would naturally be able to break through to the martial artist realm. There would be no bottleneck. Chapter 166. The day quickly passed. Xia Ping sat cross-legged in his room and took a deep breath. The qi in his body surged like a raging river, making rumbling sounds and shaking the air. This qi concentration pill is indeed powerful. As expected of a pill for fighters. In a few more days, I'll be able to reach the peak of the 9th layer of the fighter realm. Xia Ping opened his eyes, feeling incomparably happy. After taking a qi concentration pill, he felt the qi in his body crazily increase. This amount of energy was comparable to a dozen bottles of golden medicine. It was incomparably powerful. Although only a day had passed, he felt the qi in his body and the strength in his body had increased little by little. It was even stronger than before. Right, time passes in the blink of an eye. It should be time for the banquet soon. Xia Ping stood up and went to take a shower. Then he changed his clothes and left the room. Half an hour later, he arrived at the Tianshui Hotel. The Tianshui Hotel was the most luxurious hotel in the entire city. Usually, gatherings of dignitaries or business events would be held here. The parking lot was also filled with luxury cars, each of which was worth more than 1 million federal coins. They looked incomparably extravagant and rich. Ordinary people would flinch at the sight of such a scene. The banquet hall was on the 2nd floor of the hotel. Xia Ping walked straight up and handed his invitation to the security guard at the door. His way was unimpeded. How extravagant! Upon entering the banquet hall, Xia Ping immediately saw many men and women dressed in luxurious clothes. This banquet wasn't only for the top 16 contestants. The children of merchants and nobles were also invited. This was a place for the younger generation to get to know each other. It was equivalent to a social occasion. Xia Ping. At this moment, a familiar voice sounded out. Xia Ping turned his head and immediately saw Jiang Yaru waving at him. Jiang Yaru was also wearing a white evening gown. She was extremely beautiful and had a mature air about her that was completely different from before. Standing next to Jiang Yaru was Chu Rong. She was also dressed very beautifully. Her red dress outlined her perfect curves. She was extremely charming. Apart from her, there were also a few girls from school. I didn't expect you to come too. I thought you didn't like this kind of social occasion. Seeing Xia Ping walk over, Jiang Yaru was a little surprised. Xia Ping waved his hand. Can't help it. I was invited by the mayor. Even if I didn't want to, I had to come. Keep bragging. Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru both looked at Xia Ping with disdain. Even if he was the champion of the fighting tournament, it was still impossible for him to receive a personal invitation from the mayor. After all, what kind of person was the mayor? He was the lord of a city and had a high position of power. A mere high school student fighting competition champion was nothing to him. Why would he personally receive the invitation? They were only invited by the organizers of the competition and came here after receiving the invitation letter. This Xia Ping should be the same, but this guy actually bragged that he was invited by the mayor. He was too shameless. It's fine if you don't believe me. Xia Ping didn't care about their words. He reached out and touched his chin. You're wearing pretty good clothes today. You look very mature and beautiful. I like it. Of course, I prefer you to wear some transparent clothes. It's best if you don't have any cover-up. It's more natural. He named the style of clothes he liked. Rogue. Jiang Yaru and Chu Rong's faces turned red. They stared at this bastard. What did he mean by wearing transparent clothes? What kind of clothes were transparent? If he really wore those clothes, it would be no different from not wearing anything. And he still said it was natural? Natural my ass. He was already a primitive man. Even if he wanted to go back in time, he couldn't go back to this early. This rogue was clearly thinking of some shameless things. There was no saving him. Hey, isn't that Xia Ping? He really is the champion of the fighting tournament, Xia Ping. He actually came too. This is great. I want to see him in person. Suddenly, a group of gorgeously dressed girls in the distance seemed to have noticed Xia Ping's appearance. They all cried out in surprise and surrounded him. They moved very quickly and actually surrounded Xia Ping in an instant. They also squeezed Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru out of the way. They weren't polite at all. That's right, I'm Xia Ping. I guarantee it. Xia Ping also sighed. He was the champion and even appeared on TV. He probably had already become a celebrity in Tianshui City. As a celebrity, he was the focus of the crowd wherever he went. He was welcomed by a large number of girls. This was really distressing. Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru were very angry. They couldn't see this bastard's distress at all. Instead, they were enjoying it. It really is Xia Ping. He's exactly the same as on TV. I heard that you're only at the 9th heavenly layer of martial disciple, but you can actually defeat Qin Muyang in the martial disciple realm. How did you do that? Indeed, it's really incredible. I've seen your matches before. It seems that no one is your opponent. In the qualifiers, you also fought 100 people. How did you cultivate? This kind of abdominal muscles is also amazing. It looks so solid. A group of girls chattered. They were all very excited. Some girls were even very bold. They reached over and pinched Xia Ping's abdominal muscles, wanting to feel them. The main thing is to be diligent in cultivation. There are no shortcuts in cultivation. Xia Ping confidently said his cultivation secret. Keep bragging. Jiang Yaru was filled with disdain. She had never seen how diligent this bastard was. It was right to often cause trouble. Who knew how many people had been beaten up by this guy? But hearing this, the surrounding girls all admired him. As expected of the champion of the fighting competition. You're really insightful. It seems that no matter which genius it is, if they don't diligently cultivate, they won't be able to achieve great things. I like men like you. Although your talent is very high, you still cultivate hard. You're also low-key and humble. A group of girls giggled and threw flirtatious glances at Xia Ping. You're too polite. You're praising me too much. Xia Ping waved his hand and said modestly, modesty is my nature. I can't change it. It's just like martial talent. I was born this way. In fact, some teachers have criticized me before. They said that I'm usually too low-key and not many people know me. They said that I need to show off more, otherwise others will look down on me. Chapter 167. However, when it comes to martial cultivation, hard work is naturally necessary, but there should also be a secret to it, a tall girl said to Xia Ping. A tall girl said to Xia Ping, everyone cultivates for a few hours every day. However, some people improve faster, while others improve slower. There are all sorts of situations. Her eyes were filled with curiosity. Of course there's a secret. Xia Ping said carelessly, however, this is a personal secret. If there's no need, I usually won't say it. He indicated that this was a secret that normal people wouldn't tell. Immediately, the eyes of the group of girls lit up. As expected, as the champion of the fighting competition, being able to defeat a martial disciple in the martial disciple realm, if there wasn't a secret to it, they wouldn't believe it. If they could learn even a little bit from him, they would probably benefit greatly. In this prosperous era of martial cultivation, everything else was fake. Only martial cultivation was real. Once they could advance to the martial disciple realm, their status would most likely rise greatly, and they wouldn't have to care about others anymore. What secret is there? For a genius like you, this secret is probably nothing, a girl with a hot figure said coquettishly as she hugged Xia Ping's arm. That's right, just say it. You won't lose a piece of flesh anyways. A few other girls walked up and hugged Xia Ping's other arm, dilly-dallying. Xia Ping said carelessly, well, there's a lot of people here, so it's not very suitable to discuss martial cultivation. Why don't we wait for the banquet to end, then find a secluded room where no one will disturb us and have a long talk. Meet each other honestly and discuss martial cultivation. Shameless. When Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru heard these words, they were half dead with anger. What bullshit talk about martial cultivation? He clearly had ill intentions and wanted to do these kinds of indescribable things to these girls. They were already staying in a secluded room where no one would disturb them. Wasn't it up to this shameless man to decide what he wanted to do? Hee, you're really too bad, but I like bad men like you. There's a Yi Lai Xiang club nearby. That place is very secluded, and I guarantee no one will disturb us. I want to go too, but I have a boyfriend. The group of girls chattered and giggled as they looked at him with seductive eyes. It's okay. It's okay to have a boyfriend. Just don't let him know. Xia Ping expressed his opinion, indicating that it was not a big deal and could be easily solved. This bastard was rotten to the point of oozing pus. The corner of Jiang Yaru's mouth twitched. Just how many women had this guy been with? He was definitely a veteran. Furthermore, he was the kind that had slaughtered thousands and tens of thousands of people. Otherwise, how could he be so skilled? Chu Rong was so angry that she almost died. This bastard didn't let go of anyone. He even wanted someone who had a boyfriend. Maybe he even wanted someone's wife. He didn't reject anyone. He was shameless to the extreme. How could there be such a shameless man in the world? How shameless. Immediately, the group of girls laughed. What you said is too reasonable, we can't refute, but we are worried about Nangong Wu. It is said that you have an affair with her, will she be jealous? That's right, that's right. We can't bear the jealousy of the Nangong family's eldest daughter. Xia Ping revealed a righteous and awe-inspiring look. It's fine, I and her are just playing along, taking what we need. She won't care about this kind of thing. Everyone, don't worry. Playing along. Hearing this, the surrounding people were all stupefied. All of them looked at Xia Ping in shock. It can't be, right? You're actually playing along. Could it be that you really have an affair with Nangong Wu? Just where did you put on the act? How's Miss Nangong's martial arts? Is she a dead fish? Does it require a lot of pressure to be together with this kind of woman? Does she need to disguise herself? The crowd of girls immediately started gossiping. All of them were discussing excitedly. They were all extremely curious about Nangong Wu. After all, she was like a goddess, and there was not the slightest stain on her. But now, there was a scandal. One could imagine how excited they were. About that, Xia Ping wanted to boast. Xia Ping. At this moment, an angry shout suddenly came from the side. It contained a terrifying anger, and it seemed as though the temperature of the surrounding space had suddenly dropped by more than 10 degrees, causing the surrounding people to shiver. Everyone turned around to look, and they immediately saw Nan Gongwu, who was wearing a gorgeous evening gown and was dressed like a celestial fairy. But now, she looked like an angry goddess. Her cheeks were puffed up, and her pretty face was flushed red. Her head was almost emitting smoke, and her beautiful eyes were filled with anger. She simply wanted to bite Xiaoping to death. Originally, she didn't want to pay attention to this shameless man. She treated him as air and directly ignored him. But who would have thought that when she passed by here, she would actually hear this shameless man making up stories about her. He even said that they were playing along, taking what they needed. Play, my ass. This was completely unheard of. Nan Gongwu was completely infuriated by this shameless Xiaoping. If she continued to let this bastard continue, who knew how big of a storm and scandal would be tomorrow? She knew that these girls didn't have much ability, but their ability to fabricate and spread rumors was extremely shocking. One night was enough to make the whole city know about it. If you have nothing to do, don't gather here. There are some men that you can't touch. Nan Gongwu's beautiful eyes were filled with anger as she glared at the group of women, her body emitting a powerful aura. Immediately, the group of women were frightened. They didn't dare to speak and left obediently. After all, this was the princess of the Nangong family. If they offended her, it would not be a joke. Xiaoping. Seeing these girls leave, Nan Gongwu stepped forward angrily and glared at this bastard man. I'm warning you, don't spread these shameless rumors here. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you. She warned this bastard fiercely. She simply wanted to kick him in the vitals. You're going a bit too far. How are you going to compensate me if you chase them away? Xiaoping said indignantly. He originally thought that tonight would be a wonderful night, but he didn't expect it to be ruined. Compensate my ass. Nan Gongwu gnashed her teeth. She hadn't even asked this bastard to compensate her for the damage to her reputation, and this bastard actually wanted her to compensate him. He should be clear about his priorities. However, she was also secretly happy that she had chased away these shameless women and ruined this bastard's good deeds. She had finally made this bastard eat a loss. Jiang Yaru and Chu Rong also looked at Nan Gongwu with pity. This girl was probably also a victim of Xiaoping. She didn't know how much pain she had been tortured by this guy. They were the same. Chapter 168. In another corner of the banquet hall, there was a group of young masters gathered together. They were the children of the big families in Tianshui City, and each of them had an extraordinary background. It could be said that these people were the future masters of Tianshui City, and their futures were limitless. Damn it, this bastard Xiaoping, he's so cocky as soon as he got here, doing whatever he wants. All the girls have been taken by him, and now there's no place for us. He's too arrogant, he doesn't even know the rules. A young master in a white suit was indignant and very angry. When he saw a group of girls surrounding Xiaoping, he felt very unhappy and extremely angry. Especially when Nan Gongwu, Jiang Yaru, and Chu Rong, these peerless beauties, were all by this brat's side, talking and laughing. This made him even more dissatisfied. A poor brat dared to show off in front of them. That's right, that's right. He's just a commoner. Even if he has a bit of talent and won the fighting competition, what's so great about that? He doesn't know his place. This kind of fighting competition champion appears every year, and I don't see their future achievements. Some of them are even doing very poorly, and can only be our bodyguards. This guy's life is just a bodyguard. He's trash, and he actually dares to act like he's someone important in front of us. He really doesn't know his place. Just who invited this brat here? He's the champion of this fighting competition, it's impossible not to invite him. Bullshit, this banquet is hosted by the mayor himself. Who we invite is not decided by the Qin family. Many of the young masters were very dissatisfied, and they looked at Xiaoping in the distance with unkind eyes. They were very unhappy with this guy who broke into their territory and went around picking up girls. This kind of feeling was like their own home was broken into by an outsider, and this bastard was even flirting with their beautiful wife. How could a man tolerate this kind of situation? Brother Qin, you said that. How should we deal with this? The young master in the white suit asked Qin Muyang, who was next to him. Everyone looked over. After all, Qin Muyang was their leader. Just in terms of family background, Qin Muyang was also the best, not to mention his martial arts cultivation. At this time, after a day of emergency treatment, Qin Muyang's injuries were more or less healed. At least it wasn't as serious as it looked yesterday. However, even though his physical injuries had healed, the damage to his heart wasn't so easily healed. Originally, Qin Muyang had planned to thoroughly defeat Xia Ping in the arena and humiliate him to show off his might before the eyes of the crowd. But who would have thought that he would be humiliated by Xia Ping like a dead dog? It became a joke, and the entire Sky Water City was abuzz with the news. Along the way, Qin Muyang seemed to feel that he was being mocked by everyone. He had clearly said such big words and even advanced to the martial arts realm. He had been glorious, but he had still lost, and it was an indisputable loss. Some of them even suspected that they, as experts in the martial warrior realm, were fake and that they had taken pills to advance in order to save face. This made Qin Muyang even more annoyed and hated Xia Ping even more. Yes, Brother Qin, you have to deal with this matter. That's right, that's right. If we let this fellow continue to show off here, wouldn't all of our chicks fall into his hands? It's not like you didn't see that bastard's face. He clearly wants to sow seeds here. He wants to harm the daughters of the aristocratic families in Sky Water City. You have to control him. Otherwise, this fellow will be out of control. A few young masters were heartbroken and indignant, especially when they saw that the girls they liked, who usually didn't spare them a glance, were now fawning over Xia Ping and fawning over him. They felt as if they had been slapped in the face. If this continued, perhaps all of them would be cuckolded by him. How could they tolerate this? Brother Qin, you have to think carefully. If this continues, I'm afraid Nangong Wu will fall into his hands. When have you ever seen Nangong Wu talking and laughing with a man like this? The young master in the white suit gave Qin Muyang a heavy blow. Qin Muyang clenched his fists. He could tolerate anything except the fact that the girl he liked had been snatched away by someone else. Even if he had to tolerate shit and piss, he definitely couldn't tolerate this. Thinking of this, his eyes revealed a trace of coldness. Let's go. As soon as he finished speaking, he strode towards Xia Ping. Seeing this, the others were also overjoyed. They all knew that there was going to be a good show to watch. They immediately followed. Xia Ping, I trust you've been well since we last met. Qin Muyang immediately walked up and stared at Xia Ping in front of him. His eyes contained a sinister look. His fists were clenched tightly, showing that his heart wasn't calm at all. Nangong Wu, Chu Rong, and Jiang Yaru immediately saw this situation. There was also a large group of young masters walking up. They immediately knew that Qin Muyang didn't come with good intentions. They reckoned that he was here for Xia Ping. So it's Qin Muyang. Xia Ping looked at him curiously, sizing him up and down. He clicked his tongue and praised, according to your injuries yesterday, you'll probably have to lie in bed for a month. But you've recovered so quickly. Just what kind of treatment did you receive? As expected of the mayor's son. It's good to have power and influence. Good my ass. Hearing this, Qin Muyang's face turned green. How could he not know that this bastard was mocking him? Although he was indeed the mayor's son and had power and influence, he still couldn't go to the hospital every day. Power and money couldn't be used to treat his own injuries. The other young masters' mouths twitched. This Xia Ping's mouth was really too despicable. He didn't show mercy at all. He was clearly offending someone to death without giving them any face. Nangong Wu and the others were also speechless. They didn't know what to say. Xia Ping, don't be too arrogant. Qin Muyang clenched his fists. His eyes were filled with anger. Don't think that you're so great just because you beat me in the arena. That's just a temporary defeat. In the future, you'll be nothing but an ant in front of me, not even worth mentioning. An incomparably confident expression appeared on his face. You're quite confident. Xia Ping calmly looked at Qin Muyang. Qin Muyang coldly laughed. This isn't confidence. It's the truth. You should know that this world has always been unfair. Some people are born high and mighty, enjoying glory and splendor. They can have whatever they want. They can consume all sorts of treasures and reach the martial master realm as easily as drinking tea and drinking water. But some people are born into the mud. They come from ordinary families and are trampled on by others. They work hard for their entire lives, do everything they can, and can only become someone's follower or dog. You should also know what kind of person I am, and what kind of person you are. Chapter 169. Xia Ping didn't say anything. He just stared at Qin Muyang indifferently. Looks like you're still unconvinced. Qin Muyang stared at Xia Ping and sneered, I'll let you experience the cruelty of the world. I'll let you know that your title as the champion of the fighting competition is nothing in front of me. He clapped his hands and made a few clapping sounds. Young Master Qin. At that moment, 3 middle-aged men in black suits walked over from afar. They were well-built and emitted a powerful aura. They arrived in front of Qin Muyang in an instant and bowed with their heads lowered. Their attitude was extremely respectful. But the surrounding people could immediately tell that the aura of these 3 men in black suits wasn't simple at all. They were extremely powerful, like wild beasts. It was very likely that these 3 men were martial warriors. These are the bodyguards loyal to my Qin family. Qin Muyang was very satisfied. He looked at Xia Ping, do you know who they are? One of them was the champion of Tianshui City's high school fighting competition 20 years ago, one was the champion 18 years ago, and one was the champion 16 years ago. All 3 of them are martial warriors. They're extremely powerful. But right now, they can only be my Qin family's bodyguards. They're willing to be my Qin family's dogs. What? Hearing this, the surrounding people were all shocked. They looked at the 3 men in black suits in disbelief. They looked like bodyguards, quiet, and loyal. They couldn't believe that these 3 were once the champions of Tianshui City's high school fighting competition. One had to know how difficult it was to become the champion of such a competition. Each one of them was a martial arts genius. Each one of them was arrogant and looked down on everyone. But even these martial arts geniuses could only be bodyguards and dogs for the Qin family after 10 years. Immediately, the crowd couldn't help but look at Xia Ping with a trace of pity. If every year's champion was like this, then this Xia Ping wasn't anything special. At most, he could only be a bodyguard and watch the door for others. This bastard. Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru were both enraged. How could they not see that Qin Muyang wanted to use these 3 bodyguards to suppress Xia Ping? He wanted to thoroughly humiliate him. Qin Muyang, this is a little too much. Nangong Wu frowned and wanted to stop him. If this went on, Xia Ping would be humiliated to the point of losing all face. Even if she was angry at Xia Ping's actions, she didn't want to go too far. Nangong Wu, this is a matter between us men. Don't interfere. Qin Muyang glared at Nangong Wu with bloodshot eyes. He looked like a mad lion as a terrifying murderous aura surged out from his body. Sensing this baleful aura, Nangong Wu couldn't help but take a few steps back. She immediately knew that this person was truly angry. If that was the case, she most likely wouldn't dare to make a move. After all, the consequences of a fight between the Nangong clan and the Qin clan were too severe. Young man. A bald bodyguard in black looked at Xia Ping. I advise you to keep a low profile. Don't be too arrogant. Being the champion of the high school fighting competition is just an empty title. The martial disciple realm is only the weakest realm. There are still the martial warrior realm, martial mentor realm, master realm, and even the king realm. It is extremely difficult to break through each realm, and it requires a large amount of resources. No family, no background, no resources. What right do you have to break through just by relying on talent? Ridiculous, a single pill is equivalent to 10 years of your cultivation. Let me ask you, how can you compete? He sneered, paused for a moment, and continued, after accumulating for a long time, you are still in the martial warrior realm, but they are already in the martial master realm, or even a master realm expert. I don't know how big the gap is. You want to start being arrogant now? You're not qualified. Hearing this, everyone couldn't help but nod. Resources were too important for martial artists. Without resources, one had to cultivate hard and absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The efficiency was slow. For example, these bodyguards were all champions of the fighting competition. Naturally, there was no need to talk about talent, but they had no background and no support. In the end, they were only in the martial warrior realm. They were reduced to being bodyguards of the Qin clan. You are you, I am me. If you do poorly, others must do poorly. Xia Ping said indifferently, there have been so many fighting competitions, and there are many who have done well. The few of you are decadent and have failed as human beings. You are willing to be dogs, and you want others to be with you. I want to say that the three of you shouldn't be too self-righteous. Even on Earth in his previous life, there were college entrance examination champions who could only work as security guards, sell pork, or even beg after graduation. There were such people, and it was very normal. But did this mean that the college entrance examination champions were of low value? There were also a lot of people who did well and did not lose to anyone. You. The three bodyguards in black were so angry that their noses were crooked. They glared at Xia Ping. This bastard actually dared to mock them like this. Although they were indeed the kind of champions who did poorly in many fighting competitions, it was not the guy's turn to mock them like this. Enough. Qin Muyang waved his hand and looked at Xia Ping coldly. You really won't shed tears until you see the coffin. I will now let you see what is called the power of power. I am someone you will never be able to compare to in your lifetime. He waved his hand. Immediately, a middle-aged man in a white suit came quickly from a distance. He was the butler of this venue and also the main person in charge. He immediately stepped forward and said respectfully to Qin Muyang, Young Master Qin. I don't want to see this kid. Get him out of here immediately. Qin Muyang gave the order in a domineering manner. He used his power to chase Xia Ping out of the banquet hall. Hee, this kid is going to embarrass himself. To be chased out of the banquet hall, this is probably the first time in the history of a fighting competition champion's banquet. This is power. So what if you are the champion? He is the mayor's son. It is easy for him to mess with a commoner like you. This kid is too arrogant and doesn't know his status. This is a good chance to teach him a lesson. All the young masters laughed coldly and looked like they were watching a good show. This. The butler in white hesitated. Xia Ping was the champion of this fighting competition and was also an important person in this banquet. He was even personally called out by the mayor to take care of him. If he chased Xia Ping away just like that, he wouldn't be able to explain himself to the mayor. What this? Even you don't listen to my orders? Qin Muyang was instantly furious. This banquet is hosted by my Qin family. My Qin family has the final say on who we want to invite and who we want to chase away. If this kid doesn't leave, then you leave. He was extremely domineering. Chapter 170. That's right. At this time, a young man in a black suit also stood up and said, I also think that this Xia Ping is no longer suitable to stay at the banquet. He is simply a rat's shit, disturbing the atmosphere of the entire banquet. If he continues to stay in this place, I'm afraid everyone will not be very happy. Everyone will be happy to drive him away. Everyone immediately looked over. The young man who spoke was Lu Yang. They were all shocked. This was the son of the deputy mayor. His status was second only to Qin Muyang. Originally, these two were simply natural enemies, but now they actually stood on the same line. The purpose was to drive Xia Ping away and teach this guy a lesson. Some people also remembered that Lu Yang had fought with Xia Ping before, but he also lost in the ring, and he lost very miserably. It was unknown how much face he had lost. It could be imagined that Lu Yang's resentment towards Xia Ping was estimated to be no less than Qin Muyang's. It was indeed so. Seeing that Xia Ping was targeted and driven out of the banquet hall, Lu Yang immediately jumped out, adding fuel to the fire, complacently, and adding insult to injury. He was extremely angry at Xia Ping. Xia Ping was just a trash commoner, but he dared to defeat him in the arena, making him, Lu Yang, lose so much face. How could he endure this? He even felt that the wounds on his body were still faintly painful. Even if his injuries were healed by the nutrient solution, this kind of pain that went deep into the bone marrow could not be eliminated so quickly. It had almost become a shadow. Yes, I think so too. Such a guy appearing at the banquet is simply an insult to us. If this kid doesn't leave, then we will leave. You just watch. When Lu Yang stood up, more than a dozen young masters also stood up and scolded Xia Ping together. They stared at him with cold eyes. They all showed an appearance that if Xia Ping did not leave, then they would leave. Everyone was shocked. Which of these young masters was not the heir of the major families in Tianshui City? Any one of them was enough to shock the entire city and frighten people. But now these people all united to deal with this Xia Ping. One could imagine how many things this kid had done that angered the heavens and made him a public enemy. It's over, this kid is completely finished. Targeted by all the big families in Sky Water City, hated by the mayor and deputy mayor's son, how can this kid have a future? There is no doubt that once this news spreads out, no martial arts organization in the entire Sky Water City would dare to invite him. So what if you have a bit of talent? Showing off before you've even matured is the path to death. In the face of power and influence, a mere commoner is like an ant that can be trampled to death. A group of people shook their heads and looked at Xia Ping pitifully. Originally, this guy won the fighting competition and had a promising future, but now he had offended so many aristocratic families in Tianshui City and provoked so many enemies. Such a person, even if he had some martial arts talent, would sooner or later fall from grace. Sigh, what a pity. It's a pity that this kid is a commoner. His future achievements will be limited. Among the group of young masters in the distance, Feng Hetang also shook his head and looked at Xia Ping with pity. Although he didn't have a good impression of Xia Ping and even worked like a horse for him during the preliminaries, he still fought together with him for 3 days. More or less, they had some feelings for each other. Seeing this guy like this, he couldn't help but feel a trace of sadness. In any case, he was the fighting competition champion and had limitless glory. But he was treated like this, humiliated in front of so many people and chased out of the banquet hall like a stray dog. But there was no other way. This was reality. No matter how amazing your talent was, before you grew up, you were just a pile of shit. Wanting these aristocratic families to lower their heads and respect you was simply a dream. You didn't have the qualifications. Stepping on you in front of so many people and humiliating your dignity, you could do nothing but endure. Damn it! Seeing this, Jiang Yaru was very angry. She didn't think these people would be so hateful, actually ganging up to deal with Xia Ping. She wanted to say something, but was immediately stopped by Chu Rong. The latter shook her head at her, telling her not to act blindly without thinking. She was the daughter of the dojo's owner. No one knew better than her how terrifying these aristocratic families' young masters were. Although they were just trying to show off in this place, what would happen after? Offending these young masters wasn't something to be trifled with. Even if currying favor with them wouldn't bring them many benefits, offending these aristocratic families' young masters, with their power and influence, if they wanted to make you suffer, it would be a piece of cake. If it was serious, they might even implicate their families. Although they were very unwilling, they were just people without power and influence. They could only endure this kind of humiliation. You're not satisfied? There's no other way. This is reality, a bloody reality. Seeing this, Nangongwu also shook her head and didn't say anything. Right now, almost all the aristocratic family's young masters in Tianshui City were targeting Xia Ping. It was obvious that they wanted to teach him a lesson. Even if she stood out right now, it would be useless. Moreover, she wouldn't do such a stupid thing to offend all the aristocratic families in Tianshui City. Although the Nangong family was powerful, they didn't dare to provoke the public. Otherwise, they would definitely pay a heavy price. I'm sorry, Mr. Xia. It seems that I can only ask you to leave. Please don't stay in the banquet hall. Seeing that all the aristocratic family's young masters had come out to drive Xia Ping away, the white-clothed butler had no choice but to take action. After all, the mayor's son, the deputy mayor's son, and the sons of the major councillors all spoke at the same time. Who could withstand such pressure? Even if this person was a guest that the mayor had specially ordered to take care of, he couldn't disobey the mayor's son's order like this. Moreover, even if the mayor really blamed him, he would have an excuse. A dog-like thing dares to bark in front of me. Qin Muyang stood in the same place and looked at Xia Ping arrogantly. His eyes were full of contempt. I already said, even if you are the champion of the fighting competition and have amazing talent, so what? With one word, I can make you scram here and make you bow your head. Who dares to stop me? You should know that the two of us are not on the same level at all. Be careful what you say in the future. Otherwise, I won't let you stay in Tianshui City anymore. Xia Ping still didn't speak. He just stood in the same place and looked at him. Everyone shook their heads. They felt that this was just a weak resistance from a young man, but so what? If he didn't leave, they were afraid that the security guards would come up and chase him away. At that time, he would be even more embarrassed. It was better to run away now and still maintain a certain degree of face and retain the last trace of dignity. However, from now on, this Xia Ping would probably not be able to raise his head in Tianshui City. Scram, I don't want to see you again. Qin Muyang waved his hand and told Xia Ping to scram. Otherwise, he would call the bodyguards to chase him away. Enough, who told Mr. Xia to scram? Chapter 171. Who is it? How dare you yell here and stop us from chasing him away? Are you looking to die? Hearing this, a young master said unhappily. He didn't think that there would be someone who dared to come out at this time to court death. Did they really not put the big families of Tianshui City in their eyes? Shut up. Can't you see that it's Mayor Qin? You're looking to die. Someone at the side immediately grabbed hold of this young master and hurriedly stopped him from continuing to spout nonsense here. What? Hearing this and seeing the person who came, the young master's face turned green. He was so scared that his whole body was trembling. He actually dared to say that the mayor was looking to die. He was finished this time. The others were also trembling. They didn't think that Mayor Qin Fei would actually come to this banquet. Even behind Qin Fei was a group of big figures. They were Deputy Mayor Lu Jianghe, Councilman Feng Shan, and so on. These were the real big figures of Tianshui City with great power. And these people were just young masters. They didn't have any power at all. It could be said that these people were the big shots who had the power. They were just a fox using the tiger's power to intimidate others. Dad. Seeing his father, Qin Fei, appear, Qin Muyang immediately felt that something was wrong. He felt that things seemed to be out of his control. It was just a small matter, how could it cause his father to be angry? Lu Liang and the others were terrified as well. They felt uneasy in their hearts because their fathers had come as well. All of them had furious looks on their faces as if they wished for nothing more than to skin them alive. They were a family. How could they not know their father's anger? Don't call me Dad. A trace of anger appeared on Qin Fei's face. He stared at Qin Muyang. Mr. Xia is an important guest that I personally invited. You actually want to join a group of people to chase him away? Are you crazy? Who gave you such power? Who gave you such courage? Who instigated you to do such a stupid thing? Each sentence was more serious than the one before. One could imagine how angry Qin Fei was now. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. How could he not be angry? If Xia Ping was an ordinary champion of the fighting competition, it would be fine. But what was his current identity? He was an official member of the giant company. He was a peerless monster that was personally invited by Elder Fong to join the giant company. He was a future king realm powerhouse. Even the #1 chief of the Yangzhou district would have to curry favor with such a person. But now, at the banquet, he was being chased away by his own son and a group of people. This humiliation was too exaggerated. If Xia Ping really left the banquet hall in a fit of rage, then his Qin family would have to face the wrath of the giant corporation in the future, and even the wrath of a king realm expert. Offending such a peerless figure for no reason, wasn't this courting death? It was obvious that he wanted to bring a great disaster to the Qin clan. Thinking of this, he was very regretful. Yesterday, he and the higher-ups of Tianshui City had been accompanying Elder Fong all day, talking about martial arts all night and benefiting a lot. He didn't have time to go home, nor did he tell his son about this. After all, to be able to discuss martial Dao with a peerless figure like Elder Fong was a good thing that no amount of money could buy. How could he miss such an opportunity? It was the same for all the big shots in Tianshui City. Moreover, Qin Fei also thought that it was just a day. It was nothing at all, and there wouldn't be any accidents. Who would have thought that something like this would happen? Fortunately, someone had reminded him of this news in time, and he had rushed over. Otherwise, he wouldn't have known how bad the situation would have become. Dad personally invited him. Hearing this, Qin Muyang was dumbfounded. He didn't dare to believe his eyes. This kid was just an ordinary high school student. Even if he won the high school fighting competition, he was just an ordinary person. How could he be worthy of the mayor's personal invitation? Wasn't this a joke? But the person who spoke was his father. He couldn't tell that his father was joking. Kneel. Qin Fei stared at Qin Muyang and said angrily, "Do you know what you've done? Kneel immediately and kowtow to Mr. Xia to apologize. If Mr. Xia doesn't forgive you, I'll expel you from the Qin clan. I'll cripple your Qin clan identity." Dad, are you crazy? Qin Muyang's face turned green. He couldn't imagine such a reality. He just wanted to chase Xia Ping away, but now his father actually wanted him to kowtow to Xia Ping and apologize, and even wanted to cripple his identity. Wasn't this crazy? He was a descendant of the Qin clan, the direct descendant of the Qin clan, the biggest clan in Tianshui City. He represented the face of the Qin clan. A man's knees were like gold. How could he kneel just because he wanted to? Hee, maybe you guys don't know. Just yesterday, Mr. Xia was invited to join the giant company and became an official member of the giant company. Representative Feng Shan said with a gloating tone, but some people are very daring. They even dared to chase Mr. Xia away in front of everyone, not giving him face. Giant company? Hearing this, Qin Muyang's expression changed. Lu Liang's expression changed. All the young masters' expressions changed. They couldn't help but clench their fists. Their faces were pale and their bodies were trembling. They didn't dare to believe this news because those who wanted to join the giant company were all monstrous geniuses. Every martial artist who could join had the ability to advance to the king realm. What was a king realm expert? They were people who could split the land and be crowned king. Even the president of the Federation couldn't do anything to them. One word from them was enough to make an aristocratic family disappear overnight. Geniuses who could join the giant company were all such characters. In fact, once they joined the giant company, they would naturally get to know all sorts of geniuses and monstrous geniuses. These were connections and terrifying resources in the future. Just think about it, a single king realm expert was already terrifying enough. But now, they knew a bunch of them and formed a group. One could imagine how terrifying this relationship was. Tens to hundreds of king realm experts forming a group would form a huge social network. Once such power came, even the president of the Federation would have to lower his head and not dare to be impudent. Why were their families willing to spend billions or even tens of billions of federal coins just to join the giant company? It was because of such great benefits. However, the giant company also knew this point. Hence, if one didn't have enough talent, they wouldn't agree. He actually joined the giant company? How is this possible? Qin Muyang didn't dare to believe such words. Even a genius like him didn't get an invitation from the giant company. But this kid actually joined. This joke is too big. Lu Liang's entire body was trembling and his face was pale. If this kid really joined the giant company, it would be like ascending to the heavens in a single step. His identity as a member of the Lu family was nothing in the eyes of this kid. Even if his Lu family developed for 1,000 years, they wouldn't even be qualified to carry shoes for the giant company. This kid actually joined the giant company? The three bodyguards in black were so jealous that their eyes turned green. They were also the champions of the Tianshui city's high school fighting competition. Their talent was also shocking, but they weren't qualified at all. Let alone joining, the giant company didn't even look at them. They didn't even enter the door. But this kid in front of them actually joined and was even personally invited. What kind of honor was this? Thinking back to before, they actually thought that this kid's future was bleak and that he couldn't compare to a descendant of an aristocratic family like Qin Muyang. From the looks of it now, they had lost a lot of face. Chapter 172. No wonder. Nangong Wu's beautiful eyes were also filled with shock. She also wondered why Xia Ping could remain calm and unmoved in the face of so many people's insults. In fact, many major characters rushed over. Even the mayor personally appeared. All of them wanted to help Xia Ping out of this predicament. If he joined the giant company, everything would be possible. After all, he was a future king. Who would dare to offend him? Too powerful. Chu Rong and Jiang Yaru were also shocked. Even though they were ordinary people, they knew how terrifying the giant company was. It was one of the three giants of Yanhuang planet, a superpower. Joining the giant company was probably even more difficult than getting into Yanhuang University, but Xia Ping had joined. Oh no, Xia Ping is in trouble now. Feng Hetang was very glad that he didn't get hot-headed and join the crowd to chase Xia Ping away. Otherwise, if he offended someone who could join the giant company, how could he get away with it? His father, Feng Shan, would probably personally make a move and break both of his legs to apologize to the other party. The other young masters also couldn't believe it, but these words were said by Representative Feng Shan, and the big shots of Tianshui City were also here. How could this kind of thing be faked? Even if it was fake, to be able to make so many big shots personally fake it, this kind of thing was shocking enough. They didn't have the ability or qualifications to do so. I'm sorry, Mr. Xia. With a slap, Qin Muyang knelt down on one knee and apologized to Xia Ping. His face was extremely ugly. This scene was like slapping himself in the face. This situation was even more embarrassing and humiliating than yesterday on the stage. Thinking about it, he was also the heir of Tianshui City's biggest family, the Qin family, and the strongest genius of Tianshui City's #1 high school. What kind of talent was this? Who would dare to look down on him? But now he was forced to kneel down and apologize. This was simply a huge humiliation. What did you say? Your voice was too soft. I didn't hear anything. Xia Ping scratched his ears, indicating that he didn't hear what Qin Muyang said. Bullshit. Qin Muyang's face turned green. Although his voice wasn't loud, it definitely wasn't soft either. In such a quiet environment, even a drop of water could be heard clearly. How could this bastard not hear it? Clearly, this bastard wanted to use this opportunity to humiliate him. Did you hear that? Speak louder. You did something wrong, so you should apologize, Qin Fei said sternly. Qin Muyang clenched his fists. He felt extremely sullen. He was a direct descendant of the Qin clan. When had he ever been humiliated like this? He was even forced to kneel and apologize. However, even the Qin clan wouldn't be able to withstand the pressure from the giant corporation. I'm sorry, Mr. Xia. I was wrong just now. I was the one who looked down on you. I had eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please forgive me. Qin Muyang's face was flushed red as he almost roared out these words. What? Who's the snobbish one? Xia Ping asked lazily. Bastard. Qin Muyang almost went mad with anger. He straightened his neck and roared, it's me, Qin Muyang, who looked down on you. It's all my fault. Everyone felt pity for Qin Muyang and shook their heads. When had they ever seen Qin Muyang like this? He was the direct descendant of the Qin clan, a martial genius who advanced to the martial warrior realm at the age of 18. Yet, he was actually forced to kneel and apologize. This scene was too shocking. Before this, Qin Muyang still said that he and Xia Ping weren't on the same level. His expression was incomparably arrogant, and his heart was filled with the arrogance of a descendant of an aristocratic clan. But now, he could only kneel and loudly say that he was wrong. It was too tragic. Qin Muyang also felt so ashamed that he wanted to die. If there was a hole in the ground right now, he simply wanted to bury his head in it and never come out again. Not bad. Xia Ping looked at Qin Muyang with satisfaction. He turned his head and looked at Lu Liang. What about you? Do you accept it? If you don't, I can listen at the side. Feel free to speak your mind. Speak freely, my ass. Lu Liang was so angry that his nose was crooked. Was Xia Ping planning to let him speak his mind? Clearly, Xia Ping wanted to humiliate him and make him kneel and apologize like Qin Muyang. Lu Liang, you also apologize to Mr. Xia and beg for his forgiveness. Deputy Mayor Lu Jianghe was expressionless. Lu Liang was like a punctured balloon. He knelt down on one knee and looked extremely sullen. Mr. Xia, I accept it. I hope you can forgive me. A great man does not hold a grudge against a lowly man. He was extremely mad. It was as if someone had punched his face a few times. After all, he was a direct descendant of the Lu family. He was born to be high and mighty. Previously, he even wanted Xia Ping to be his dog. Now, he had become a dog and knelt down to apologize to the other party. In his 18 years of life, he had never suffered such humiliation. This was a great humiliation. You. Representative Feng Shan pointed at the descendants and shouted, all of you, apologize to Mr. Xia. All of you don't know how to appreciate favors. You even dare to chase away our esteemed guest, Mr. Xia. This is too much. Is this what you're taught? When we go back, all of you will be punished. Hearing this, those young masters felt sullen and angry. They were all young masters of the big families in Tianshui City. They were born with a golden spoon in their mouths. Since they were young, they only needed others to apologize to them. They didn't need to apologize to them. But now, they were forced to lower their heads to a commoner. Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Xia. We were wrong, very wrong. I hope Mr. Xia can forgive us. We are like dogs. We actually want to chase Mr. Xia away. We really don't know how to appreciate favors. If Mr. Xia doesn't forgive us, we will kneel and not get up. One by one, the young masters knelt down on one knee. Their faces were red as they apologized to Xia Ping. They were the ones who had shouted at Xia Ping and wanted to drive him out of the banquet hall. Just now, they were all arrogant and despotic, looking down on any commoner. But now, they were kneeling and apologizing to a commoner. This. Feng He-tang was dumbfounded. When had he ever seen such a scene? It was too shocking. A single person had forced the descendants of the aristocratic families in Tianshui City to kneel and apologize. A single person had flattened all the aristocratic families in Tianshui City. How shocking was this scene? No matter how rich his imagination was, he never thought of such a scene. Right now, he didn't even know what he was thinking. This Xia Ping was too powerful. This is like a fish leaping into a dragon. No one can control him anymore. Nangong Wu was also shocked. A single person had forced the descendants of the aristocratic families to lower their heads. If this wasn't a dragon, then what was a dragon? Even though she was from the Nangong family, she couldn't do such a thing. It was beyond imagination. The 3 bodyguards of the Qin family also had bitter mouths. They had nothing to say. They were all champions of the Tianshui City fighting competition, but they could only be bodyguards. The other party had forced the descendants of the aristocratic families to lower their heads. The difference was too big. Chapter 173. The storm ended when the descendants of the aristocratic families knelt down and apologized to Xia Ping. After that, although the banquet went on for half an hour as usual, no one present was in the mood to enjoy it. They just hastily followed the procedure and ended the banquet. As for Xia Ping, he returned home in a very happy mood. However, for Qin Muyang, it was a humiliating night. He was furious. He had probably never experienced such an embarrassing thing in his life. He would never forget it for the rest of his life. Late at night, only Qin Muyang and his father, Qin Fei, were in the study of the Qin family's mansion. The father and son talked through the night. Dad. Qin Muyang gritted his teeth. He was very unwilling. His expression was ferocious. I am a descendant of the Qin family, the heir of the Qin family. There are only a few families in the entire Tianshui city that can compare to the Qin family. But what about that kid? His family has been peasants for 18 generations, a lowly person. But you forced me to kneel down and apologize to that kid. This is a humiliation. Not only is it a humiliation to me, but it is also a great humiliation to the Qin family. How can you do this? He could not understand. Even if he did something wrong, he did not think that he deserved to be humiliated like this. He had to kneel down and apologize to Xia Ping in front of so many people. Shut up. Qin Fei glared at his son, Qin Muyang. Do you know what kind of person can join the giant company? Genius, a genius that is rarely seen in decades. There is no doubt that he will become a king realm powerhouse in the future. You dare to offend such a person? Are you trying to bring trouble to the Qin family? Qin Muyang gritted his teeth. His face was gloomy. So what if he is a genius? So what if he is rarely seen in decades? A genius that has not grown up is just a fart. There is no need for the Qin family to kowtow and apologize to him. There are many people with such talent who fall midway. Why do we need to be afraid of him? His tone revealed a hint of viciousness, emitting a dense killing intent. Obviously, his meaning was very clear. Even if Xia Ping had the potential to advance to the king realm, he could kill this kid in the cradle if he paid a certain price. The Qin family could not deal with a king realm powerhouse, but could they not deal with a mere martial disciple? Stupid. Qin Fei shook his head. You don't understand the giant company. You don't know the horror of the giant company. It is one of the three giants of Yanhuang Star, a true superpower. Even the federal government is under its control. Why is it able to become one of the three giants that no one dares to provoke? It's not just their omnipresent influence. More importantly, they are ruthless and vengeful. The number of people they kill is enough to build a mountain, and their blood is enough to gather into a river. Anyone who dared to challenge their power died. Not a single one survived. At this point, he looked at his son, Qin Muyang. Do you know about the Flowing Fire City's Huang clan? I know. Hearing this, Qin Muyang nodded his head. Flowing Fire City is also a city with a population of over 100 million, and the Huang clan is a super aristocratic family in Flowing Fire City. They have countless experts, and their businesses cover every corner of Flowing Fire City. Their influence is even more terrifying than our Qin clan. But 5 years ago, the Huang family was exterminated overnight, and the culprit has never been found. What's wrong? Why did you suddenly mention the Huang family? He stared at his father in confusion. This Flowing Fire City's Huang family was exterminated by the giant corporation. In a single night, this 100-year-old aristocratic family was uprooted, and not a single member of their direct line of descent could escape. All of them died. Qin Fei clenched his fists tightly, and a hint of fear could be seen in the depths of his eyes. What? Qin Muyang stared at his father in disbelief, as if he didn't dare to believe it. This famous Flowing Fire City's Huang family was actually exterminated by the giant corporation. At that time, the Huang family was extremely arrogant and despotic, and could be said to be the absolute hegemon of this city. Their words were always true, and they were in the limelight for a period of time. No one dared to offend them. Qin Fei spoke in a low voice. However, a genius who had just joined the giant corporation offended them. Because of a small matter, a direct line of descent from the Huang family flew into a rage and actually sent the Huang family's guards to hunt down that genius from the giant corporation. Naturally, because that genius was only at the martial disciple realm, he hadn't matured yet. Very quickly, he was killed by a few martial disciple realm experts from the Huang family, and even his corpse was destroyed. They thought that their actions were flawless and didn't leave any clues behind. However, what kind of power is the giant corporation? If they really wanted to investigate something, they wouldn't be able to hide anything. In the end, the actions of the direct line of descent from the Huang family were quickly exposed. The giant corporation was enraged. A King Realm expert personally made a move, and in a single night, the Huang family was exterminated. Not a single one of them could escape. He looked at his son. Do you think that the murderer who exterminated the Huang family escaped and no one would be able to find him? Wrong, the federal government knew about this matter, but no one dared to interfere. This is the tyranny of the giant corporation. Qin Muyang sucked in a breath of cold air, and his entire body trembled. These were the three giants of the Yan Huang planet, the true superpowers. A family that was several times more terrifying than his Qin family had been exterminated just like that, and no one dared to interfere. This can't be blamed on the giant corporation. Qin Fei shook his head. It's just that the descendant of the Huang family was too stupid. He actually dared to make a move on an official member of the giant corporation. Wasn't that just courting death? Who doesn't know that everyone who can join the giant corporation has the potential to advance to the king realm? But that descendant of the Huang family was reckless and killed a seed that could advance to the king realm. How could they not be enraged? Even the federal government can't protect the Huang family. Speaking up to here, he looked at his son. If you also want to kill that Xia Ping, you can, but you must drag the entire Qin family down with you. This is the price. His tone was very solemn. This. Qin Muyang's mouth was very bitter. Just because of a little grudge, he had to drag the entire Qin family down with him. He reckoned that before he could even make a move, he would be killed by his own family members and take his head to apologize to the other party. After all, the one who truly controlled the Qin family wasn't his father or himself, but his grandfather. There were more than 10 branches of the Qin family, and there were many family members. They would definitely not agree to this matter. It was no wonder that his father forced him to lower his head and apologize. When facing an unkillable hedgehog, a future king realm expert, even if the entire Qin family lowered its head, it wouldn't be too much. If he didn't apologize now, he would be hated by the other party. Once Xia Ping advanced to the king realm and possessed monstrous authority, a single word from him would probably be enough to annihilate the Qin family. If you want to take revenge for the humiliation you suffered tonight, you can. Qin Fei looked at his son. It's fine as long as you advance to the king realm. Once you advance to the king realm, even the giant corporation wouldn't dare to casually touch you. At that time, the Qin family will support you no matter what you want to do. No one will dare to question you. When he heard this, Qin Muyang clenched his fists tightly. He was extremely unwilling, but no matter how unwilling he was, he had no other choice. If he didn't advance to the king realm, he wouldn't even have the qualifications to go against Xia Ping. Chapter 174. In fact, this kind of conversation was not only between Qin Muyang and Qin Fei, but also between Deputy Mayor Lu Jianghe and Lu Liang, as well as the major families of Tianshui City. After all, no one was clearer about the terror of the giant company than these old foxes. The more they understood the power of the giant company, the more cowardly they became. Several years ago, the awe of flowing Fire City's Huang family, their blood, their anguished wails, they were all still vivid in their minds. Who dared to be impudent? Most probably, this was also the giant company killing the chicken to scare the monkey. They wanted to let the world know that they weren't a sleeping lion. If anyone dared to touch their bottom line, they would have to pay the price of blood. However, at this time, Xia Ping was in a good mood as he returned home. He didn't pay any attention to the storm that was brewing in Tianshui City. Beep. As soon as he returned to his bedroom, he immediately received a video call request from director Wang Dachui. What is it? Xia Ping clicked on the request, and fatty Wang Dachui's virtual projection immediately appeared in front of him. The other party was smiling, looking extremely wretched. Boss. Wang Dachui said excitedly, I've finished shooting and editing the 10 TV series that you ordered me to shoot. Now, I'm just waiting to upload them to the video website. So fast. Xia Ping was stunned. He remembered that it had only been a little more than 2 weeks since Dachui Wang had planned to shoot the TV series. But 10 episodes of the TV series were shot so quickly. Not that fast. Wang Dachui said humbly, that's because I haven't filmed for a long time, so my movements are rusty. If it was the me from 5 years ago, half of that time would be enough. This is a piece of cake. The corner of Xia Ping's mouth twitched when he saw this guy blowing his own trumpet. Shooting 10 episodes of a TV series in 10 days was already considered shoddy, but this guy only needed half the time. How did he do it? Is he trying to fool me? He looked at Wang Dachui suspiciously. Boss, don't worry. As if reading Xia Ping's mind, Wang Dachui patted his chest and said confidently, this TV series is the culmination of my many years of confidence. It can be said to be the pinnacle of my artistic career. Once it's uploaded on a video website, it'll immediately become a trend. You'll earn so much that you won't even want it. We're just short of publicity now. He looked at Xia Ping eagerly. Publicity? How do you want to advertise it? Xia Ping also knew that if there was no publicity, no matter how outstanding the TV series was, it would not be known by people. It could be said that publicity was also a part of the film and television industry, and it was impossible to get rid of it. I've already thought of a series of publicity methods. I guarantee that it will be an instant hit. Wang Dachui was full of confidence. By the way, this is actually my plan, he intended to launch into a long speech. However, Xia Ping immediately stopped him and said, forget it. Don't explain this to me. You can solve it yourself. I just want to see the results. He had no interest in listening to Wang Dachui spout nonsense. In that case, leave the promotional activities of the TV series to me, Wang Dachui rolled his eyes and said. Xia Ping nodded. Okay, I'll leave everything to you. Thank you, boss. I will definitely not let you down. After getting approval, Wang Dachui said excitedly, please wait and see. I'll definitely make this TV series popular. With that, he hung up the phone with a snap. They actually finished filming so quickly. I wonder if this TV series will be popular. But forget it. Whether it succeeds or fails, it's just 5 million federal coins. Xia Ping didn't care. He had earned 400 million federal coins from this fighting competition alone. He didn't care about the money he earned from the TV series. However, it wasn't that he didn't care. After all, no one would dislike having more money. A week later, it will be the trial of the giant company. I must pass this trial. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He knew that the reason why the big families in Tianshui City bowed to him and forced the children of those families was because of the giant company. If he failed this trial, he wouldn't be able to join the giant company. The consequences would be unimaginable. However, he was also very confident that it was impossible for him to fail. The trial is in a week. I can take advantage of this time to try to break through to the martial warrior realm. This way, I will have a greater chance of passing the trial. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He sat cross-legged on his bed and began to cultivate, digesting and absorbing the energy in his body, constantly improving his cultivation. The night passed quickly. Xia Ping got up from his bed and opened his eyes. He felt that after a night of cultivation, the true qi in his body had also strengthened a little. In a few days, he would be able to reach the peak of the 9th heavenly layer. At that time, he might be able to try to break through to the martial warrior realm. Well, let's go to school. Xia Ping looked out the window. The sun had already risen high, and it was not far from school. He brushed his teeth and washed his face. After eating breakfast, he walked towards school. However, when Xia Ping arrived at school, he found that he had become a giant panda. Along the way, many people pointed at him and seemed to be very curious. However, none of them dared to approach him. They were all pointing and whispering. I won the championship of the fighting competition. It seems that I have become a celebrity in school. Xia Ping touched his chin, but he didn't care and continued to walk towards his class. Xia Ping. However, as soon as he arrived at school, a classmate greeted Xia Ping and looked at him with a strange expression. I heard that you wrote a novel and it has been adapted into a TV series. What? Hearing this, Xia Ping blinked his eyes. How do you know about this? Although this was the case, he had never told his classmates about it. Where did this guy learn about it? How do you know? It's all in the news on the internet. Everyone in the class knows about it. The classmate said naturally, but I didn't expect that Xia Ping's novel would be like that, bold and avant-garde, too mature. When the other students heard these words, they all had strange expressions. Especially some female students, all of their pretty faces were red, and they didn't dare to look at Xia Ping with their eyes wide open. It seemed that they had also read Xia Ping's novels. It's all in the news on the internet. What the hell is going on? Xia Ping was stunned. Why didn't he know about this kind of thing? The fact that he wrote novels was now known to everyone. Thinking of this, he immediately returned to his seat, took out his mobile phone, and immediately went on the internet. Chapter 175. Penguin News Headlines, revealing the true identity of the phenomenal novel teacher by Rong. Pig News Headlines, is the fighting tournament champion turning to writing novels a progress or regression for society? Daily Headlines, shocking, the future superstar of erotic novels is a high school student. National Observation News Headlines, only 18 years old, the rise of a new generation of erotic novel masters. Xia Ping suddenly saw such a sensational title on the web page. He clicked in and took a look. Sure enough, he saw the news about his true identity, and even the details of his school and class were written very clearly. My identity has been exposed. What's going on? Xia Ping was also a little confused. He remembered that the identity of his teacher Bai Rong as a novel author should be very secretive. Why did everyone know about it when he woke up early in the morning? Because of such news, the netizens of the entire internet and major forums were boiling. Almost all the readers who had read the novel spoke online one by one. Especially under the comment area of his teacher Bai Rong's novel, posts appeared one after another. Unbelievable, the author of the novel, Teacher Bai Rong, Xia Ping, is actually only an 18-year-old high school student. I thought the author would be at least 30 or 40 years old. Otherwise, how could his writing be so sophisticated? What the hell, he just reached adulthood. At this age, I only watched movies on the internet and bragged, but he has become a master of erotic novels. And this guy is also the champion of the Tianshui City High School fighting tournament. He is simply a winner in life and has a promising future. The gap between people is too big. I can't live anymore. Watching such news all day long is too stimulating for the heart. Many readers were shocked by the news. No matter how they imagined, they couldn't imagine that the author of this novel was only 18 years old. After all, people at this age were just studying, and even preparing for the college entrance examination. How could they write an outstanding erotic novel? Everyone, don't be deceived. This bastard Xia Ping is a beast. Although he is indeed the champion of the fighting tournament and wrote a master-level work, his character is not good. He is a beast and everyone has the right to punish him. A netizen who claimed to be Xia Ping's schoolmate immediately posted such a post, lashing out loudly, and his words were full of hatred. Yes, I agree with the one above. I live next door to this Xia Ping. Ever since I was young, this fellow has not been a good person. He often bullies the little girl next door and steals her lollipops. He doesn't even help an old lady cross the road. When people ask him for directions, that bastard often gives them the wrong directions, causing them to go around in circles and waste a few hours. He's shameless to the extreme. He started picking up girls at the age of 9. At the age of 12, he brought girls to the hotel. At the age of 15, he started having an affair with someone's wife. He was almost caught by her husband. He even jumped out of a 9th-floor toilet window naked. It became the local news. That's right. When he was 18, that bastard became even more outrageous. Not only did he have a dozen girlfriends under his feet, but he also got a dozen high school girls pregnant. Even the campus belle of the major schools fell victim to him. The girls wanted an abortion, but he didn't give them money. He's simply a scumbag. He's a beast. To be able to write such an article, it's not because of his outstanding talent. I dare to guess that he simply adapted it from his own experience. It's all biographies. According to the above stories, I guarantee that this bastard can be sent to prison for a few years. To be honest, I'm not afraid of being laughed at. I'm the family of one of the victims. We asked this bastard for compensation, but that bastard actually took out a black notebook and searched one by one. After searching for a long time, he finally found my daughter's name. I looked at it. There are at least dozens of victims' names. If he's not a beast, who is? One by one, netizens who claimed to be very familiar with Xia Ping posted on the internet, loudly lashing at Xia Ping. Their voices were harsh, and all of them were crying bitterly. No one knew how much they hated Xia Ping. They simply wanted to skin him and pull out his tendons. Seeing the comments of these people who claimed to be close to Xia Ping, many netizens suddenly burst into an uproar. Holy shit, I was wondering how an 18-year-old high school student could write such an experienced article. It turns out that his emotional experience is so rich. It's too amazing. Even people in their 30s or 40s probably don't have such experience. This Xia Ping is too amazing. He's only 18 years old and he's already so amazing. What will happen when he's in his 30s or 40s? Bastard, he's only 15 years old and he's already having an affair with someone else's wife. Is he still human? I'm 30 years old now, and I'm still a virgin. Other than my mother, I've never held any other girl's hand. This is too much. This Xia Ping is definitely a scumbag to the extreme. It's already too much for him to have a girlfriend, but he has more than 10. He even has so many that he needs a notebook to record them. Otherwise, he'll forget about them. It's because there are too many playboys like this that so many people don't believe in love. Love my ass. He's a super stud. Do you know what a stud is? It's constantly copulating and doing shameless things all day long. What's going on with those girls? They clearly know that this bastard Xia Ping is a scumbag, but why are they all willing to fall into his hands? This is too unreasonable. Didn't you hear that this guy is the champion of the fighting competition? His grades are excellent, and he's also a little handsome. His family might even have some money. With just a little sweet talk, who knows how many girls have fallen into his hands? No wonder his pen name is Black-Hearted Wolf. He's just like his name, his heart is black. He's also a pervert. He lives up to his name. The main character of this novel is a female teacher. Based on this guy's methods, could it be that even the female teachers in the school have fallen into his hands? Beast, this bastard doesn't even let the teachers off. Is he still human? After a long time, the school's discipline has completely disappeared. It's in imminent danger. Many readers were commenting. Each and every one of them were shocked by the author's love experience. After all, they had never seen such a scumbag to the extreme before. Some people were even more envious and jealous. He was only a high school student and already knew how to play with women. Who knew how many high school girls had fallen into this bastard's hands? This. Xia Ping looked at the news on the internet and the countless netizens' comments. He felt that the rumors were really too scary. Just a few fake news stories were spread all over the internet, and there was no way to refute them. However, how exactly did his identity get leaked? Other than the website, his parents, and Jiang Yaru, not many people knew. Chapter 176. Thinking of this, Xia Ping immediately picked up his mobile phone and called director Wang Dachui. When the phone was connected, he immediately said, "Wang Dachui, tell me what the hell is going on? Did you make the news on the internet?" "Boss, yes, it was me." Wang Dachui was proud. "I dealt with those online news media a little and turned in a few articles. I didn't expect them to be the headlines of the website. The effect is very good. When our video goes online, it will definitely be a big hit, and the click rate will rise." Good my ass. The corner of Xia Ping's mouth twitched. The publicity effect was good, but he was in a bit of trouble. If the identity of the author was exposed, he didn't know how much trouble it would cause. At this time, the system suddenly said, "Congratulations to the host, you have gained 5,000 hatred points." What? Hearing this, Xia Ping's eyes flashed. Such news actually increased hatred points. If this was the case, it was not a big problem to let the news continue to ferment. Anyway, his reputation was not very good. Even if there were a few more scandals, it would not be a big problem. If he could gain hatred points, everything would not be a big problem. "Boss, if you are not satisfied, I will tell the website to remove this news." Fatty Wang Dachui hesitated for a moment. He could offend anyone, but he could not offend his boss. "Forget it, it has already happened, and there is no other way." Xia Ping said in a deep voice, "In short, you should have told me in advance about this matter. You can't make your own decisions." His tone was a little harsh. "Yes, boss, I was wrong." Wang Dachui was suddenly awestruck. Xia Ping nodded, "Okay, then that's it. You can continue the publicity work, but don't go too far. Of course, I promise there will be no big problems. Wang Dachui patted his chest, very confident. After saying this, Xia Ping hung up the phone with a snap. Looking at the strange expressions of the students around him, he did not take it seriously at all. He had long been immune to it. However, the news was getting more and more intense, and soon all the students in Tianshui City 95th High School knew about it. After all, the champion of their school's fighting competition was a great writer who wrote erotic novels. Everyone was extremely curious. Have you heard? That shameless Xia Ping is actually an erotic novel writer. He wrote a novel on the internet called Teacher by Rome. Everyone, don't read it. This bastard Xia Ping is too shameless. He harmed others and himself. He wrote such a novel. I don't know how many young people in Yanhuang Star have been poisoned, and even some old men have fallen for it. No way, this novel is so scary. Of course it's scary. You don't know this, but I was reading this novel with a critical mindset. I wanted to know what kind of bullshit this guy could write. I didn't expect to fall into a trap and not be able to climb out. Isn't that right? Last night, I read for 7 to 8 hours before I finally finished the novel. My body felt like it had been hollowed out. When I came to school this morning, my legs were trembling. Don't even mention how miserable I was. I don't know how this kid wrote this novel. His skill is close to the Tao. Even the masters of erotic novels such as Bao Pikhang are no better than this. It's too powerful. Powerful my ass. Some netizens revealed that the reason why this novel is so powerful is not fictional. It's all the personal experience of this shameless Xia Ping. That guy started hooking up with other people's wives at the age of 15. He had the experience of being chased by other people's husbands with kitchen knives many times. One time, he was chased down 8 streets. Let me ask you, with such rich experience, how can he not be good at writing novels? Beast, he even hooked up with other people's wives. He's simply not human. This is nothing. Didn't you see that the protagonist of the novel is a teacher? Maybe that bastard has also hooked up with the teacher. It is said that this Xia Ping's class teacher is a great beauty. She has a pair of long legs, a curvy body, and a peerless beauty. I heard that she has hooked up with Xia Ping. Beast, I know the name of that beautiful teacher. She is called Qiuxiu. She is simply a perfect mature woman. She is my dream lover. Now she has been defiled by that Xia Ping. I don't believe it. This kind of thing must be a rumor. It's definitely a rumor. Don't believe it. I didn't believe Xia Ping's rumors before, but look at it now. Even the school belle Jiang Yaru of 95th Middle School, the school belle Chu Rong of 88th Middle School, and the school belle Nangong Wu of Xiulan Middle School, the school belle Nangong Wu of Xiulan Middle School. Now even if he hooked up with a beautiful class teacher, what's the big deal? No woman can escape his evil clutches. Many students were talking about it. Everyone was shocked. Some students were even mourning. Another school goddess was defiled by this bastard. They simply couldn't accept such a fact. It was fine that the school belle was hooked up by this bastard. After all, Jiang Yaru was his childhood friend and neighbor. It was not impossible for her to enjoy the moonlight first. But now even the teacher had been hooked up. Such a peerless beauty was defiled by this beast Xia Ping. They simply couldn't accept this kind of bad news. Shameless Xia Ping, he's not human. He didn't come to school to study, but to sow seeds. He's only a high school student and he's already doing such a shameless thing. When he leaves school, who knows how many women he'll harm. Is there no one who will control this bastard's evil actions? If this continues, all the goddesses we've set our eyes on will be hooked up by this bastard. What hope do we have? This is a teacher-student relationship. Hurry up and report it to the principal. Let him break them up. Report my ass. When that time comes, that Xiaoping will be fine, but teacher Qiushue will be in trouble. Some people even say that she's an old cow eating young grass. Eat my ass. It's clearly a beautiful flower stuck on cow dung. That Xiaoping has taken a big advantage. A group of students wailed in grief and indignation. The school's goddess, teacher Qiushue, was their dream lover. Who knew how many people loved her? She was even more popular than Jiang Yaru. But now that the famous flower was taken, and the owner was even a famous scumbag, none of them could accept this. Every one of them was filled with grief and indignation. But even if most of the students hated Xiaoping to the core, they didn't dare to do anything to him. That was because this bastard's evil name had long spread through the entire school. Who knew how many people had fallen under his evil hands? If they dared to stand in front of Xiaoping, they would most likely be sent flying with a single punch. But Xiaoping had still underestimated Wang Dachui's methods. The next day, this bastard actually began to reveal even more shocking news, even more eye-catching news, pushing this matter to the peak. Chapter 177. Explosive. The TV series adapted from the novel, Teacher by Rong, is about to be released on major video websites. It is said that this TV series was independently invested by the author, Black-Hearted Wolf, and he even set up a film and television production company. According to the gossip of the crew, the author, Black-Hearted Wolf, may personally play a supporting role and have exciting scenes with the female lead, Lin Meikong. Shocking scandal, famous actress Lin Meikong, crying that she may have been slept with by Black-Hearted Wolf. A high school student slept with a famous actress. Is this the decline of morality or the sorrow of society? Is it great to be rich in this world? A female actress crying and revealing a shocking scandal in the entertainment industry. At this time, news was released from Wang Dachui's hands, causing the internet to boil. In particular, the author, Black-Hearted Wolf, may star in this novel adapted into a TV series, and even slept with the famous actress Lin Meikong, which shocked countless netizens. Damn, the author is awesome. He can actually adapt a novel into a TV series. How is this kind of novel adapted? Why is the screenwriter so awesome? This is an unprecedented feat. Even I'm a little excited. Upstairs, you're all idiots. You're not paying attention to the main point. Don't you see that this TV series is invested by the author, Black-Hearted Wolf? And it's a personal investment. Isn't he afraid of losing everything? What's he afraid of? According to the gossip, this author, Black-Hearted Wolf, earned more than 50 million federal coins in just a month. I estimate that he will be number 1 on this year's author income list. Oh my god, he earned 50 million federal coins in a month. This is crazy. I only earn 5,000 federal coins a month at most, and he earns 10,000 times that. How can an 18-year-old high school student be so awesome? Why doesn't he go to heaven? Many netizens were shocked by this news. Even though they knew that this novel was very popular on the internet, they did not expect to earn so much in a month. This was simply getting rich overnight. An ordinary person would not be able to earn 50 million federal coins even in 100 years, but now this kid earned 50 million federal coins in just a month. This was too exaggerated. He has already earned so much money, why does he still want to make a TV series? Even if he is not afraid of losing money, there is no need. Some people expressed doubts about this news and were very puzzled. What do you know? Money is nothing to him. His goal is to pick up girls and sleep with all kinds of beautiful female stars. That's true. With a few million, any female star can sleep with them. I know Lin Meikong. I've seen her pictures. She has a pure face and a hot body. I'm willing to shorten my lifespan by 10 years for a woman like her. You won't be able to fuck her even if your lifespan is shortened by 100 years. Don't look at how many movies she has and how easy it seems to be to get her, but you can't fuck her without money. Damn it, doesn't this mean that we can get on it as long as we pay? That's right, but you need to pay a lot of money. Do you have that kind of money? I don't lack money. Brag, continue to brag. A person who earns 3,000 federal coins a month is bragging on the internet. Do you have any shame? Many netizens were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. Some people thought deeply and immediately realized why this black-hearted author was willing to solely invest in a TV series. It must be because he wanted to have a legitimate reason to sleep with various female stars. If it wasn't for such a purpose, how could this bastard be willing to make a loss? Shameless black-hearted wolf, it's too hateful. He actually used his power and money to openly sleep with beautiful female stars. He's simply shameless. I've misjudged his character. A netizen cried out in grief and indignation, by doing this, what's the difference between him and the shameless principal in that novel? He's simply a disgrace to the literati. I'm ashamed to be associated with this person. Big brother, he's just a writer of erotic novels. His character has long been eaten by dogs. I'm not bragging. If I had the money, I would also want to do it. That's right. Lin Meikong is so beautiful. Even if there are many people who have slept with her, I want to be one of them. This is a real veteran. He has picked up countless girls and achieved the great achievement of killing 10,000 people. Ordinary goods can't even enter his eyes. He has begun to play with some hardcore tastes. It's said that there are also some bosses who shoot these movies. They will do it themselves every time they shoot and never hire extras. I heard that this is to save costs. Save your face. If I were the boss, I would do it myself. Why would I let others take advantage of such a good thing? This black-hearted wolf probably also wants to be such a boss, enter the entertainment industry, and stir up trouble. Damn, it's good to be rich. He doesn't even write novels, but starts to shoot TV dramas and sleep with all kinds of female stars. I suggest that everyone don't subscribe to this bastard's novels. Every time we subscribe, we contribute to that bastard's prostitution. I don't know how many girls have been harmed by him. That's right. Everyone, hurry up and forward this comment. Boycott this shameless Xia Ping's works together. If you don't, you're not a Yanhuang star citizen. Many netizens were shouting at the top of their lungs, all of them extremely angry. And this matter was naturally known by the students of 95th High School, and everyone was in an uproar. This Xia Ping is the best. Even high school girls can't satisfy him. He's even starting to harm the goddess of the entertainment industry. How unfair the heavens are. This bastard has actually become the boss of a film and TV series. In the future, will I be able to see this bastard's performance through the screen? The gap between people is too big. I can only see goddess Lin Meikong through the screen, but now this bastard can have negative distance contact with the goddess. This is just the beginning. In the future, I don't know how many screen goddesses will be defiled by this bastard. Damn it, why isn't this guy impotent? Why? A group of students was furious. All of them were very unconvinced, and their eyes were green with jealousy. This bastard Xia Ping could have negative distance contact with the goddess, and they could only watch from the side. It was too hateful. There are rumors that this Xia Ping is too stingy. In order to save costs, he might come to the school to select a few male actors to film. A student secretly relayed the rumors. What? There's actually such a thing. This Xia Ping is so stingy that he doesn't even want to spend money to invite actors. All day long, he wants others to be his free labor. He's simply scapegoat Xia. A tall student looked up to the sky and sighed. If this news is true, everyone must not be fooled. Resist him together and let his evil plan go to waste. He actually wants the boys of 95th High School to be free labor. He's dreaming. His face was full of anger. Of course, if there's really such a thing, I'll be the first to stand up and resist. Everyone, don't fight with me. If you want to fight with me, I'll fight with you. I've decided to become undercover and enter that bastard's crew. I'll be your intelligence officer and inform everyone of this bastard's evil actions. No, no, no. I'm duty-bound to do voluntary work like this. None of you are qualified. It's easy to reveal flaws. Let me do it. After all, if I don't go to hell, who will? Chapter 178. Director Wang Dachui was very excited when he saw that the TV series adaptation of Teacher by Rong was very popular on the internet. Without hesitation, he immediately contacted the video website and announced that it would be released in the wee hours of the morning. Taking advantage of the popularity of the TV series, it would definitely receive a huge response. As Wang Dachui had expected, the moment the TV series was released on the video website, countless netizens immediately found out about it. All of them went online to watch it, wanting to see how this TV series adapted from a popular novel was like. When Xia Ping woke up the next day, he immediately received an excited call from Wang Dachui. "Boss, our TV series is very popular. Do you know that?" His virtual projection appeared in front of Xia Ping. Xia Ping looked at this fatty with two panda eyes and bloodshot pupils. It was obvious that he had not slept the whole night and was extremely excited. "Popular? What's going on?" Xia Ping blinked his eyes. Fatty Wang Dachui could not hide his emotions at all. He said excitedly, when the TV series was released last night, a large number of netizens immediately flooded in to watch it. It almost paralyzed the video website. At that time, the person in charge of the website thought that he had been attacked by a hacker. Fortunately, the technicians handled it in time. 7 hours. In just 7 hours, the number of hits for our first episode has exceeded 30 million. It's 30 million hits, do you know? He was dancing with joy. Xia Ping also understood why Wang Dachui was so excited. In just 7 hours, the number of hits had exceeded 30 million. They had earned 10 million federal dollars from the advertising fees alone. Moreover, this was just the beginning. In a few days, the number of hits would exceed 100 million, or even 1 billion. The cost of 10 episodes of the TV series would have been earned back long ago. Moreover, it would be very profitable. With a beep, he immediately clicked on the web page and entered the video website. As expected, Xia Ping saw that the number of hits on the video was increasing crazily. It had already reached almost 40 million. There were even 80,000 comments in the comments section. The audience was very enthusiastic. "This is the best TV series I've ever seen. This female teacher is simply my dream lover." Initially, I only knew Teacher Lin when she took off her clothes. But because of this TV series, I got to know Teacher Lin when she put on her clothes. It's really eye-opening. If I had such a beautiful teacher as my form teacher, I wouldn't be carrying bricks today. I would be working in an office building or even going out to hunt monsters in the wild to become a martial arts expert. Shameless black-hearted wolf. He harms others and himself. His novels have poisoned who knows how many youths. Now he's actually filming a TV series. How long is he going to harm us before he stops? Isn't that right? People like us are poor and have weak willpower, so we can't control ourselves at all. After one night, my body has been hollowed out. I don't know how much nutrition I need to eat to make up for it. This kind of work really can't be watched. It's too much of a scam. If you watch it, you'll regret it. This is a complete pile of shit. No, even cow dung is better than this. Novels were trash, and so were TV dramas. I don't know what's wrong with this world. Trashy works can be shown, but some good works are unknown. I'm sorry, the one above is a lunatic. He just ran out of my courtyard and acted atrociously. I'm sorry everyone. I'm a professor of psychiatry. My surname is Yang. Based on my initial judgment, the patient above needs electric shock treatment. It will take about 3 months. Trust me, I guarantee that the medicine will work and completely remove the root of the problem. From now on, you will no longer have to worry. Professor Yang, you're amazing. You can tell that guy is a psychopath at a glance. Many netizens were commenting passionately in the comments section of the video. Some of them were looking for trouble. They were also criticized by many netizens to the point that their lives were uncontrollable and miserable. Boss. Wang Dachui clenched his fists. If the click rate breaks 100 million, we can earn more than 30 million from one episode of such a TV series. If it's 10 episodes, we can earn more than 300 million. If the click rate breaks 1 billion in a single episode, we'll make a lot of money. He was extremely excited. Although he had thought that this novel adaptation of the TV series might become popular, he didn't expect it to become so popular. In fact, he had underestimated the popularity of this novel. Coupled with these hype methods, it attracted the attention of countless netizens. That was why such a miraculous thing happened. Xia Ping was also emotional. He thought that it was amazing that he had earned 400 million federal dollars from gambling. He estimated that no matter how amazing this TV series was, it would not make him earn more money. But he was wrong. Very wrong. The income that a phenomenal TV series could earn was simply astronomical. It earned money faster than a money printing machine. It was not an exaggeration to say that this was an overnight millionaire. In just 7 hours, and it was only the first episode, they could earn 30 million in advertising fees. After a period of time, when more TV series were released, how much would they earn then? A billionaire, or even a billionaire, would be at their fingertips. Continue filming. Xia Ping immediately said, shoot 100 episodes of this TV series. Of course, I'll increase your pay accordingly. I won't let you suffer too much. He was not a stingy person. Since the other party could create such value, it meant that the other party was worth that much money. It was normal to raise the other party's salary. Thank you, boss. Wang Dachui was overjoyed. His eyes were almost brimming with tears. After such a long time, he had finally proven his talent in filming again. He was definitely not a lost talent. He suppressed the excitement in his heart and clenched his fists. It had been 3 years. For a full 3 years, he had been humiliated and chased out of the film industry like a stray dog. But now, he, Wang Dachui, was back again. This time, he would not be chased away. In the next 2 days, Wang Dachui released the remaining 9 episodes of the TV series one after another. Each episode caused a great sensation, with more than 100 million views in a day. The 10 TV series added up to more than 1 billion views, and the number of comments reached 1.5 million, ranking first on the list of popular TV series on the internet. Even the popularity of the TV series drove the sales of the novel. Countless viewers watched the novel curiously, forming a huge trend on the internet. However, as the popularity of the TV series grew, Xia Ping's name, his identity, and a series of his deeds were clearly dug out by countless netizens. Even the beautiful teacher in Xia Ping's class was known by many people. A large number of fans of the novel even made a pilgrimage to 95th High School, just to surround the legendary prototype of Bai Rong, the legendary beautiful female teacher. Chapter 179. In the conference room of Tianshui City 95th High School. At this time, the school leaders gathered in the conference room. They were all discussing the matter of Xia Ping. Because the commotion was too big, a large number of fans had appeared outside the school recently, constantly lingering at the door, greatly affecting the education work. Headmaster. A bald middle-aged man said angrily, I suggest that damn Xia Ping be driven away immediately. He is simply the black sheep of our 95th high school. Look at what he has done. Instead of reading books, he actually ran to write erotic articles. He is still just a high school student, still just a child. His face was full of pain and grief. This bald middle-aged man was the school's dean. Well, students have some hobbies, and it's not very convenient for us to stop them. The headmaster was an old man in his 50s or 60s. He said slowly and methodically, although writing this kind of article is a bit too much and not worth advocating, it does not violate the school rules. It is impossible to drive him away because of such a small matter. But that guy still wants a foot after taking an inch. He actually opened a film and television company. The bald middle-aged man gritted his teeth with a face full of jealousy. It is said that the purpose of opening this company is to do all kinds of unspoken and shameless things with all kinds of female stars. Headmaster, tell me, is this kind of thing allowed? In the long run, to what extent will the atmosphere of our school be corrupted by this student? This is a bad example. What's even more hateful is that there is news that this guy may even intend to recruit some high school students to do volunteer work in order to save filming costs. Now because of this matter, everyone in the school is in a state of panic. No one is studying well. Some male students are here all day to hone their acting skills and exercise, hoping to be taken a fancy to by Xiaoping. Headmaster, you judge. What does this student think of the sacred school? If this continues, our 95th high school will really become a talent training base for that area. Who will still come to our school to study? Hearing this, many school leaders had very strange expressions. They had been engaged in education for many years, but they had never seen such a student. He was only a high school student, but he actually wanted to enter the entertainment industry to have unspoken relationships with all kinds of female stars. He was simply the best. Ordinary people just thought about it, but this guy really did it, and now it was known to everyone. Some of the school leaders were even more envious and jealous. How could this bastard be able to hook up with so many female celebrities? The principal was also a little speechless. However, he coughed and said, "Aren't these all rumors and rumors? They're not real. There's no need to go to the extent of them. Moreover, he's the champion of the fighting competition. He's the symbol of our school. How can we chase him away just like that?" Hearing this, the bald, middle-aged man's voice immediately rose an octave. So what if you have good grades? If you don't have good conduct, you'll still be the black sheep of society after coming out. You won't make any contribution to society. A piece of rat poop spoils half a pot of soup. Don't be soft-hearted towards this brat just because he has some martial arts ability. You still have to chase him away. Moreover, this bastard is also a potential criminal. This fellow actually has improper thoughts towards teacher Qiushue, and even wrote that novel because of this. To be honest, for the sake of education, I also went to criticize it, and it's not bad. But this proves how terrible that brat is. What kind of fantasy does he have to write such an article? In time, he can't control himself. Maybe he will do something to teacher Qiushue, and even other female teachers will be in danger. He's a beast who won't even let go of a wife. He gritted his teeth and was extremely sad and indignant. A group of teachers looked at the bald man with disdain, saying that he criticized for the sake of education. Criticize an egg. There are so many fresh and refined excuses for looking at ass. This bastard deserves to be bald. What? He won't even let go of a wife. This is a bit too much. At such a young age, his taste is so heavy. Young people nowadays are really amazing. This old man only understood the charm when he was in his 30s or 40s. The principal sighed. Principal. The bald man shouted, "You can't cover up this student anymore. It's better to expel him quickly and settle the storm of this matter. Otherwise, the reputation of our school will be completely ruined, and no one will be willing to come here to study." He was filled with hatred towards Xiaoping. He was just a little brat, yet he dared to be so high profile in the school. He didn't even let go of teacher Qiushue. What would happen in the future? No matter what, this bastard wanted to covet teacher Qiushue, so he had to chase him away. It's not a big problem to expel him, but he has just joined the giant company and is a reserve member. The principal smiled and looked at the bald man. If the giant company blames him, will you bear the responsibility? What? After hearing this, the bald man's face turned green. He was indescribably shocked and almost didn't dare to believe his own ears. Principal, you are saying that he joined the giant company? That's right, not many people know about this matter. Only the upper class of Tianshui City knows about this. It's normal that you don't know about it. The principal looked at the bald man. Do you still want to expel such an outstanding student? This. The bald man's face turned completely green. His entire body was trembling. He knew how difficult it was to join the giant company. Everyone who could join was a peerless monster, a true unparalleled genius. Such a character, no matter which school it was, would be wanted. If he expelled Xia Ping today because of some ridiculous reason and the giant company blames him, he wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Even the mayor wouldn't be able to protect him. Teaching head, you are making a big fuss over a minor issue. The principal smiled and said, recently, some students have reported that you are a little too overboard, causing the heavens to be angry. Many parents have come to complain. I think that your work pressure is too much and you need to take a break. Your work can be temporarily handed over to Teacher Lu. I don't think you have any objections, right? The surrounding school leaders were all stunned. Clearly, the principal was using this opportunity to beat the teaching head. This fellow had been jumping up and down recently, causing trouble and didn't give the principal any face. Although the principal didn't say it, they all remembered it in their hearts. Right now, they were going to use a thunderous strike to suppress the teaching head. As expected, this move immediately hit the fatal spot of the teaching head. No, I don't have any objections. The teaching head's face was ashen. If he were to take a break, a few years would pass. However, this was the principal's order. He had no choice but to lower his head. All right, this matter shall end here. No one is allowed to mention it again. This is just an uproar on the internet. After this period of time, there won't be any problems. It will slowly cool down. The principal calmly said. Yes, principal. Chapter 180. At this time, at night, in a high-end apartment in Tianshui City. This high-end apartment is where Qiuxiu lives. It has 3 bedrooms and 1 living room, covering an area of 100 square meters. The decoration is extremely luxurious, with marble floors, crystal chandeliers, various leather sofas, LCD TVs, and so on. But now the owner of this house is not in a very good mood. She is picking up the phone and talking to her best friend, only to hear the other party's laughter. Little Shui, I heard that you went to teach in a high school and was secretly loved by a student in your class. The other party even wrote this into a novel and made it into a TV series. I have to say, this is the most high-profile courtship method I have ever seen. You are worthy of being Miss Chiu. No matter where you go, your charm is irresistible to those little boys. I admire you. Her tone contained a sense of ridicule. Shut up. Qiuxiu said angrily, I am troubled by this matter, but I haven't told you about it. Where did you hear about it? Do I need you to tell me? It's all over the internet. Who doesn't know that Miss Chiu has become famous overnight? Her best friend giggled and was in a very happy mood. By the way, I also saw on the internet that a lot of fans went to your school. It seems that they are planning to make a pilgrimage. Have you been asked for your autograph? Speaking of this, Qiuxiu felt a headache. She was a very low-key person and rarely encountered such a crazy scene. As soon as she came to school, there was a large group of people taking pictures of her, and some people asking for autographs. Among them, there were many middle-aged men. This was simply becoming a superstar. She couldn't control such a scene at all, and it even began to affect her own teaching activities. Every day when she went to school, there would be a group of people waiting at the door, which made her a little nervous. This was even more terrible than a suitor. Don't talk about this. I am troubled. This has seriously affected my teaching work. Do you have any good way to solve this matter? Chioshu said helplessly. Can you delete those strange rumors on the internet? Ha, it's impossible to delete them. This kind of news is spreading everywhere. It's difficult to delete them. We can only wait. Things on the internet always disappear after a few months, and this time is no exception. Chioshu's best friend giggled. She really enjoyed Chioshu's current embarrassed state. Chioshu, who used to be called the campus goddess, when did she become like this? It was simply a rare sight. How many more months? Chioshu was speechless. She had a headache. She wouldn't be able to endure such a situation for a few months. But what about that little boy? Did he come over to talk to you? Did he give you a few love letters and even confess? A teacher-student relationship, just thinking about it makes me feel excited. Her best friend was very gossipy about this matter and revealed a treacherous smile. No. Chioshu glared at her best friend's virtual projection and was extremely angry. What kind of person was this? It was fine if she didn't comfort her, but she was actually here gloating and adding insult to injury. However, she also felt extremely indignant. Things had already developed to this point, yet that guy didn't even give her an apology. He didn't express anything at all. It was truly hateful to the extreme. She decided that she had to talk to Xia Ping tomorrow and settle this matter thoroughly. Regardless of whether this student had other thoughts about her, in short, this matter couldn't continue like this. The next morning, Xia Ping sat in the bedroom, and the sun slanted down from the window, extremely bright. Boom! At this moment, the true qi in Xia Ping's meridians was extremely rich. After a few days of cultivation, he finally raised his cultivation to the peak of the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm. He felt that the true qi in his body was unprecedentedly powerful. The true qi of the 9 meridians was merged together, growing endlessly, and 9 returned to 1, completely integrated into 1. This was the realm of all methods returned to 1. Huh? Am I going to break through to the martial artist realm? When Xia Ping reached the peak of the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm, he felt that he was only a thin layer of paper away from the martial artist realm. As long as he moved slightly, he could break through. By the way, when the conditions are right, this is right. Xia Ping's heart surged with endless emotion. The real cultivation was natural, and there was no bottleneck to speak of. The reason why there was a bottleneck was that this realm had not been cultivated to the point of perfection. There were more or less some flaws, so it would cause the difficulty of breaking through. This was the bottleneck. However, when one's cultivation reached the realm of dream realization, one would naturally break through to the next realm. This was a natural process, and there would be no obstacles in the way of a breakthrough. And Xia Ping opened the Baihui acupoint when he was in the 5th heaven of the martial artist realm. He had long stepped into the martial artist realm. Now all the 9 meridians were opened, and the true qi was abundant. There was no bottleneck to speak of at all. Rumble! When the true qi of the 9 meridians surged at the same time and gathered together, it formed a raging river. It suddenly broke through the Baihui acupoint on the body, and a large amount of true qi was instilled in. The martial artist realm finally arrived. Xia Ping opened his eyes, which emitted a frightening light. When the true qi completely connected to the Baihui acupoint, the mental power inside was immediately opened up, and in an instant, it spread throughout his body, adhering to every inch of the true qi. At this moment, he felt that he had reached the realm of inner vision. He could clearly see the state of the true qi in his body. He could clearly understand every bone, every inch of muscle, and even every meridian in his body. Not only that, his muscles, meridians, bones, and even every cell in his body had been tempered and strengthened by the true qi. His strength and speed had greatly increased, becoming several times stronger than before. The spiritual force in his mind also spread out. 10 meters, 20 meters, 50 meters, 100 meters, and finally reached a distance of 250 meters. At this distance, any movement in the wind and grass could be clearly perceived by him. It could be said to be all-pervasive. The flow of the air, the particles in the air, and so on, were all presented in his mind. The true qi in his body was also several times stronger than before. The Baihui acupoint could hold more true qi than the meridians in the body, and it had become even more powerful. I have to test my current strength. I have to find a secret place to try it. I'll take a temporary leave today. Xia Ping's eyes flashed, and he immediately stood up. He was extremely excited. After being promoted to the martial artist realm, it was a completely different realm. This kind of strength was enough to go out in the wild, fight real monsters, and establish a foothold in this world. Chapter 181. On the outskirts of Tianshui City, in a remote valley, there is no one around. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. A figure flickered in the valley, and there were afterimages in the air. Ordinary people's eyes couldn't keep up with such speed, and even the air was distorted. Sand and stones flew on the ground. With a punch, the true qi was released, producing an air explosion, containing a terrifying power. With a bang, 10 meters away, a rock half the height of a person in the distance was immediately smashed into pieces. With a bang, another kick was sent out, and a big tree with the thickness of a bowl was kicked off in the air. The whole tree slowly fell down and suddenly hit the ground, raising a cloud of dust. When a set of fist techniques was completed, the entire valley had been changed beyond recognition, with gravel powder everywhere, as if it had been bombed by missiles, becoming a scene of ruins. The first heaven of the martial artist realm, the release of true qi, the 100-step divine fist, the realm of killing people in the air, I have finally reached it. This figure is obviously Xia Ping. He clenched his fists and his eyes were shining with excitement. He felt that the martial artist realm was completely different from the martial artist realm. Not only was his true qi several times thicker, but even with the help of spiritual force, he was able to release his true qi, and the power of a punch was more than 10 times stronger. If he only relied on brute force before, but now with the power of true qi, the destructive power is terrifying, and a punch can turn the steel into a pile of slag. 10 meters away, he can smash the enemy's heart. Is this the power of the martial artist realm? Sure enough, it's not something that the martial artist realm can compare with. Xia Ping can feel that every inch of muscle in his body is full of the power of true qi, and every punch and kick exudes terrible power. He feels that he can beat 10 of himself before. By the way, I have been promoted to the martial artist realm, and I should also be able to practice the second level of the Dark North Body Protection Technique and the 7 Arrows Technique. Xia Ping's eyes flashed and his mind moved. The system immediately said, redeem the second level of the Dark North Body Protection Technique and the 7 Arrows Technique, which cost a total of 50,000 hatred points. Rumble suddenly, the information of these two levels of cultivation was instilled into Xia Ping's mind. Countless pattern information flowed in the deepest part of his mind, and he suddenly grasped it clearly, as if he had been practicing for decades. This is the second level of the Dark North Body Protection Technique? That's amazing. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He circulated the secret art in his body and felt a layer of true qi covering his body like water. Under the control of his mental energy, his essential energy seeped into every inch of his body. If it could only cover his muscles and bones in the past, it could even seep into his bone marrow now and be thoroughly tempered. The second level of the head-piercing 7 arrows art was also very powerful. It had an additional attack method that relied on Jin Qi, which made the attack power of the concealed weapons even more terrifying. It was more than several times stronger than before. The second level of the technique was the starting point for this concealed weapon technique to display its true power. However, now that I've advanced to the martial warrior realm, the power of the 5 forms fist seems to be unable to keep up. After all, this is only a basic martial skill, and it's not too powerful. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He had already cultivated the 5 forms fist to the highest realm. If it was only used by the martial disciple realm, it was completely enough. However, after reaching the martial warrior realm, this martial art technique was slightly insufficient. It was unable to completely unleash the true strength of a martial warrior, and it would slightly weaken one's combat power. Host. The system immediately said, it is recommended to cultivate the advanced fist technique of the 5 forms fist, 10,000 beasts fist. It is the same lineage as the 5 forms fist, but it is countless times stronger. With the cultivation experience of the 5 forms fist, I believe that it will not be difficult to successfully cultivate this 10,000 beasts fist. It requires 50,000 hatred points to exchange. What? Hearing this, Xiaoping was also taken aback. This fist technique actually required 50,000 hatred points to exchange. One must know that the second level of the head-piercing 7 arrows art required 30,000 hatred points, which was already a top technique. However, this 10,000 beasts fist required 50,000 hatred points. From this place, it could be seen that the power of this fist technique was not comparable to the basic fist techniques such as the 5 forms fist. The 10,000 beasts fist is a peerless fist technique created by the 10,000 beasts Taoist in ancient times. Xiaoping looked at the introduction of the martial art above. It simulates the characteristics of the beasts in the world and is created by the fusion of the power of the beasts. Each move contains great power and is extremely terrifying. When cultivated to the extreme, 10,000 beasts cry, move mountains, and fill the sea, shatter the void, and a punch can be thousands of miles away, shatter the stars in the outer realm, and it is so tyrannical that it is outrageous. Just from the introduction of the martial art, he could see the power of this 10,000 beasts fist. Yes. Xiaoping didn't say anything else. The hatred points were for consumption. The trial of the giant company was about to begin, and he wanted to do everything possible to improve his strength. Moreover, during the duel competition, he received more than 100,000 hatred points, plus the previous TV series, he also received more than 30,000 hatred points. Even if he exchanged for this technique, he still had more than 30,000 hatred points left, which was more than enough. Yes, host. The system said. Rumble. As soon as the voice fell, a huge flow of information poured into Xiaoping's mind. Vaguely, he seemed to see an old man in white practicing fist techniques above the starry sky. As he punched out, phantoms of primordial ferocious beasts appeared behind him. They reared their heads back and roared. Each and every move they made was filled with the aura of the great wilderness. They were vast and ancient, containing an ancient wildness and a terrifying desolate might. With a crack, the last punch was punched out. 10,000 beasts roared, and the entire space exploded. And Xiaoping also woke up at this moment and opened his eyes. This is the 10,000 beasts fist. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He felt that he seemed to have cultivated this fist technique for decades, and he had gained a lot from the system's enlightenment. But even so, he felt that this fist technique was broad and profound. Even with the system's enlightenment, if he didn't cultivate it seriously, his body wouldn't be able to quickly master it. Immediately, he used this set of fist techniques in the valley, and his whole body transformed into 10,000 beasts. Countless beasts roared in the void, and the air trembled. The whole hill seemed to be trembling, and the rocks collapsed. The true qi in his body was like a turbulent sea, crazily erupting, flowing everywhere in his meridians, producing the roar of true qi. Bang bang bang. The surrounding rocks were smashed by the punches, and huge deep pits appeared on the ground. Gravel splashed everywhere, and black cracks appeared, like winding lightning. The scene was shocking. Once he cultivated, a day passed. Beep beep. Just when the sky was dark, Xiaoping's mobile phone immediately received a message. He took out his mobile phone and looked at it. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, gather at Tianshui City Airport, and start the trial of the giant company. The school has already taken 2 months off, there is no need to worry. What? Chapter 182. Early the next morning. Qiuxiu originally wanted to talk to Xia Ping, but she was informed by the principal that Xia Ping would take more than a month off and might not come back until the college entrance examination began. What? Hearing this news, Qiuxiu was furious. This bastard took a leave and slipped away. He was very relaxed, but she was miserable. She was targeted by so many fanatical fans. She didn't know how long it would be troublesome. Especially those perverts who often ambushed at the school gate. They persistently followed her every day. Although she was not afraid with her strength, who would feel comfortable being followed like this all the time? Originally, she wanted to talk to Xia Ping and settle this matter, but she didn't expect that the bastards slipped away and took more than a month off. She didn't even see him. This joke was too big. Wait for me, you actually brought me so much trouble. Once you come back, I will definitely teach you a lesson. Qiuxiu gritted her teeth and was furious. She finally remembered this matter. When Xia Ping came back, she must avenge her personal grievances and make things difficult for the bastard. At this time, Xia Ping arrived at Tianshui City Airport. A huge spaceship was parked in the open space. There was a lot of traffic. Countless passengers were coming in and out of this airport. It was very lively. Xia Ping. As soon as he entered the airport, Xia Ping immediately saw a big man with a height of 1.9 meters coming from the opposite side. He was wearing a white exercise suit and looked extremely strong. Behind him were also 4 or 5 men in black. Each of them had an extraordinary aura. Their temples were bulging, revealing a fierce aura. They looked like a jungle beast. But in Xia Ping's view, these men in black were not even worthy of carrying the shoes of this big man in white exercise suit. Just standing in place was like a small mountain. His aura was integrated with nature. When he walked, it was as if he was integrated with the earth. His every move had the taste of a master. Even though the airport was surrounded by people, countless passengers walked, bustling, and very crowded, but when this man walked over, he had a unique aura. The surrounding passengers all subconsciously avoided and made way for him. Even the oncoming passengers subconsciously avoided and walked away. The powerful aura formed a circle, isolating the surroundings. You are. Xia Ping looked at this big man with a trace of doubt in his eyes. Ha! The white-robed man burst into laughter. I'm Elder Fang's disciple. My name is Gu Peng, and I'm also the one who's here to welcome you to the trial. You also know that my master is usually quite busy, so he left this matter to me. After saying that, he stretched out his big hand and shook hands with Xia Ping. Immediately, Xia Ping felt a mountain-like power coming from his opponent's hand. Even if it wasn't intentional, it was enough to make people feel a strong sense of oppression. However, the other party didn't have any ill intentions. He just shook her hand for a moment before letting go. This power, could it be that you have advanced to the martial warrior realm? Gu Peng's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. But Master said before that you were only a powerhouse in the 9th heaven of the martial disciple realm. It's only been a week and you've been promoted to the martial disciple realm? I was lucky. Xia Ping nodded and said modestly. He was also a little surprised. Just by shaking hands, he was actually able to see through his current strength. This kind of eyesight was really amazing. This isn't luck. It's strength and talent. Gu Peng's attitude was obviously more enthusiastic. It seems that Master really found a good seedling. I estimate that you also have a 40 to 50% chance of passing this trial. Let's go. Time is urgent. I'll tell you in detail after boarding the spaceship. After saying that, he waved his hand and let Xia Ping follow him into the depths of the airport. 40 to 50% chance. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. According to his strength, he could be called the #1 high school student in Tianshui City, but in the eyes of the other party, the chance of passing was only 50%. This was not deliberately making things difficult, but the other party came to such a conclusion after knowing his strength. Even a powerhouse like this man in white thought so. It could be imagined how difficult this trial was. However, Xia Ping didn't care. After all, he still had many powerful trump cards. Even if this man in white was strong, it was impossible to understand his full strength. Thinking of this, he followed the burly man in white, Gu Peng and the others. A few minutes later, Xia Ping saw a small black spaceship parked on the flat ground of the airport. It was streamlined and full of sci-fi feeling. It could about accommodate a dozen people and was not very big. However, he could feel the fierce aura of this small spaceship. It seemed to be loaded with a lot of lethal weapons. Once it was activated, even if it encountered a siege of countless monsters, it would be able to kill its way out. Rumble when Xia Ping, the man in white, and the others boarded the spaceship, the door of the spaceship closed, and they immediately flew toward the sky. There was no delay at all. May I ask where we are going this time? After sitting down, Xia Ping immediately asked. Gu Peng smiled slightly. Black Moon City. What? To Black Moon City? Hearing this name, Xia Ping couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. He originally thought that in this life, there should be very few opportunities to continue to go to Black Moon City. After all, he had caused a big trouble in Black Moon City before. Even if he thought that he didn't reveal any flaws, he didn't want to return to such a dangerous place again. It seems that you also know what kind of place Black Moon City is. Gu Peng laughed. As everyone knows, it is a city of the underworld. Chaos, slaughter, crime, and all the evils of the world are gathered here. It is simply a kingdom of the underworld, a place outside of the Federation's laws. Anyone who mentions Black Moon City will frown. It is regarded as a taboo city, a place that ordinary people can't go to. However, do you know why the Federation allows such a city of sin to exist? He looked at Xia Ping. I don't know, Xia Ping said honestly. Gu Peng paused, then said in a low voice, it's very simple. It is because Black Moon City has an ancient relic, the Black Moon Tower, and the master of this Black Moon Tower is a King Realm expert called the Black Moon King. That place is the Black Moon King's territory. Even the Federation can't control it. Over time, this place became a neutral land, a place outside of the laws, a place where many underworld organizations gather. Of course, there are many unknown reasons why this place is so prosperous. He gave a simple explanation of Black Moon City's origins. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. Although he knew that Black Moon City's origins were not simple, he didn't expect this city of sin to be so terrifying. It was actually the territory of a King Realm expert. Chapter 183. Why do I have to go to Black Moon City for the giant company's trial? Xia Ping only cared about this. As for the history of Black Moon City, it didn't have much to do with him now. It's simple, Gu Peng said. That's because Black Moon City has a relic left behind by the ancient civilization, the Black Moon Tower. This tower is also known as the Tower of Trials. It's extremely precious, and even Yanhuang Planet's technology can't analyze it. It's because of the Tower of Trials that Black Moon City is so prosperous. The entire Yangzhou district and even Yanhuang Planet's martial artists come here. It's said that this Black Moon Tower contains a big secret. Even its owner, the Black Moon King, can't completely control it. But even if he can only control a bit, it's enough for the Black Moon King to have overwhelming combat power among King Realm martial artists. He clenched his fists, and his eyes showed a trace of yearning. In other words, my trial will be above this Black Moon Tower? Xia Ping's eyes flashed. Gu Peng looked at Xia Ping with admiration and nodded. That's right. You are indeed smart. This time, your trial will be within the Black Moon Tower. In reality, it's not just the giant company. Even the Aurora Company, which is as famous as the Giant Company, and the Life Company, as well as other tyrannical organizations, have chosen this place to test their official members. Because this ancient relic, the Black Moon Tower, is absolutely fair. It can test a martial artist's potential with the highest efficiency. This is recognized by many martial arts organizations. There's no doubt about it. His tone was very certain. Xia Ping also knows that the technology contained in these ancient ruins is very advanced. He doesn't know how many years ahead of the current Yanhuang star. In the beginning, human beings relied on the unearthed ancient ruins to obtain advanced technology and tyrannical martial arts cultivation methods, thus defeating countless monsters on Yanhuang star, and once again establishing the position of human overlord. There were also some martial artists who obtained some ancient relic and soared to the sky, ascending to the pinnacle of martial arts and becoming super big shots. This also proved the power of the relic's technology, far beyond what humans could imagine. And the Black Moon Tower's trial is also divided into a few levels. Gu Peng continued, entry level, easy level, hard level, and nightmare level. Each level is stronger than the one before. You only need to pass the hard level to pass the Giant Company's trial. He stated the requirements for Xia Ping to pass the Giant Company trial. Hard mode. Xia Ping blinked his eyes. Gu Peng nodded. Yes, it's the hard mode. You have a total of 1 month to try. Once you pass it once, it will be considered as you passing the trial. In this month, you can try as many times as you want. However, once this month is over, you won't have another chance. The trial will be treated as a failure. Clearly, he believed that it would be extremely difficult for Xia Ping to pass the hard level trial within a month. What about the nightmare trial? Xia Ping asked curiously. Nightmare trial? Gu Peng instantly laughed. If you can pass it, of course, you can pass it too. But up until now, there are countless members of the Giant Company who can pass the nightmare trial. Once he succeeds, as long as he doesn't die, he will definitely become a big shot in the future. His tone was filled with certainty. As long as someone could pass the nightmare difficulty trial, they would definitely become the focus of the Giant Company. Their future would be limitless. However, it was simply too difficult to pass a trial of this level. It was practically impossible. Xia Ping touched his chin. If there was a chance, he definitely had to pass the nightmare difficulty trial. If he wanted to be valued by the Giant Company, being mediocre was not a good choice. The more high profile he was, the more people would pay attention to him. What exactly is the content of the trial? Xia Ping looked at Gu Peng. Gu Peng mysteriously smiled. About this, you will know when you go to Black Moon Tower. Oh right, here is a human skin mask made of nanomaterials. Also, there is your anonymous credit card. All the money you have spent in Black Moon City is recorded on it. At the same time, your real identity must be kept a secret during this trial. Kept a secret? Xia Ping looked at Gu Peng with a puzzled expression. He stretched out his hand and took the human skin mask. After putting it on, the face of another person turned into that of an ordinary young man. It was completely different from the current him. In fact, this human skin mask made of nanomaterials was completely different from the toy-grade human skin mask he had bought before. It was more realistic, natural, and there were almost no flaws. It was completely stuck to the face. Of course, if people in the outside world find out that members of the Giant Company enter and leave Black Moon City, it will most likely attract a lot of trouble. Gu Peng explained. Although this kind of trouble is not very important to the Giant Company, it is best to avoid trouble as much as possible. Besides, this is also a part of the trial. You can say it like this. When the flying shuttle arrives at Black Moon City, the moment you leave the flying shuttle, the trial will begin. I will leave everything else to you to handle. I will not go with you. I will just stay here and wait for you to return. Xia Ping nodded, indicating that he understood. More than an hour later, the flying shuttle finally arrived at the airport of Black Moon City. This was the central area of Black Moon City. It was also the most prosperous area in the entire city. It was completely different from the suburbs. Xia Ping left the flying shuttle and looked around. He immediately saw many skyscrapers that were more than 100 stories tall. They were arranged in neat rows, and many hover cars were flying in the air. One by one, busy passengers left the airport. All of this looked no different from a normal bustling city. It was full of order. However, Xia Ping also knew that this was only on the surface. He could clearly feel that the passengers who arrived in this city all had a terrifying strength. Each of them exuded a deep murderous aura. Who knew how many lives they had been stained with? These passengers were all vigilant of each other, keeping a distance of 2 or 3 meters from each other. They never approached each other easily. These actions seemed to have become their instinct. Moreover, their strength was at least above the 8th layer of martial disciple. There were even martial disciple powerhouses. The quality of these powerhouses was much higher than in Tianshui City. Fugitives. Most of the people who come to Black Moon City are fugitives. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. He had long since put on the human skin mask and kept a certain distance from the others. He then boarded a bus. After a few stops, he quickly arrived at the central area of Black Moon City. This was the most prosperous area in the entire Black Moon City. It was also where the ancient ruins, the Black Moon Tower, was located. This is the Black Moon Tower. After getting off the bus, Xia Ping immediately saw a towering black tower that pierced the clouds appear in front of him. It occupied at least several million acres of land. It was simply a colossus. It towered into the clouds, piercing straight into the heavens. In the middle of the sky, a full moon hung, with no end in sight. Some people said that this tower was at least tens of thousands of meters tall, but no one could verify it. Chapter 184. Beep beep. Just as Xia Ping was about to enter the Black Moon Tower, his phone suddenly rang. He glanced at it casually and saw that it was Director Wang Dachui calling. Hello, Wang Dachui, what's up? Xia Ping picked up his phone and immediately answered. Wang Dachui's voice came over. Boss, didn't you promise to do a live broadcast with your fans and have face-to-face communication with them? Why aren't you online yet? Your fans are getting impatient. Do you understand? Live broadcast? Hearing this, Xia Ping was stunned. He suddenly remembered that Wang Dachui did mention such a thing before. In order to promote the website and accumulate popularity, he had to communicate with many readers on the internet. This was also an activity that many famous novelists often participated in. Communicating with fans face-to-face, not only could they accumulate popularity, but they could also promote their works. It was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. But because he had been busy with martial arts cultivation for the past few days, and he had to go through the giant company's trial, he had basically forgotten about this matter. Sorry, I forgot about this. Let's talk about it next time. I have something to do now and don't have much time. Xia Ping wanted to refuse this live broadcast. After all, he was going to enter the Black Moon Tower later and had no time to do a live broadcast here. Hey, don't. Wang Dachui immediately became anxious. I promised the fans long ago. If I change my mind now, it will definitely cause a riot. Even if it's less time, at least I have to meet with everyone. He was very anxious. If he changed his mind at the last minute, he did not know how badly he would be scolded by the netizens. Xia Ping hesitated for a moment. It was indeed not a good thing to break the promise. Although this might cause the anger of many fans, and he might gain a lot of hatred, he did not want to use this method to gain hatred. He wanted to be a devil, but he did not want to be a heartless devil that angered the heavens. If he could make people love and hate him, that would be the best thing. Okay, I can do a live broadcast, but only for a short period of time. Xia Ping thought about it and took off the human skin mask from his face, revealing his true face. If he wanted to do a live broadcast, he could not reveal his true purpose of coming to Black Moon City. However, he was not worried that revealing his true identity in Black Moon City would cause any trouble. After all, there were many people who came to Black Moon City, and he was only one of them. No problem. Wang Dachui was overjoyed. He didn't give Xia Ping time to refuse. He immediately sent a website address and said, "Boss, this is the address of the live broadcast. You can just click on it." Seeing this, Xia Ping reached out and clicked on it. Immediately, his mobile phone was connected to the live video software. The mobile phone's camera also shot his figure and transmitted the image to the live broadcast space. Seeing Xia Ping's figure appear, the people who had been in the live broadcast space immediately became excited. The number of people watching the live broadcast also increased sharply, from 100,000 to 500,000. He's out. Black-Hearted Wolf is finally out. I didn't wait for 3 hours in vain. I didn't even dare to go to the toilet. To be honest, even my girlfriend wouldn't dare to make me wait that long. This is Black-Hearted Wolf. Son of a bitch, you think you can pick up countless girls with this look? Ahem, I'm here to hear how this guy managed to cheat on more than a dozen boats. Can you impart some experience to me? Big brother, is the novel you write really a biography of a character? Is it a personal experience? What does it feel like to sleep with the princess of Tianshui City? Does it make you feel a little pressure that women are superior to men? What kind of skills do you need to live off a woman? Even a beauty like Nangong Wu has been picked up by you. Do you want to become the son-in-law of the Nangong family, gain both wealth and beauty, and seize the Nangong family's tens of billions of assets? Comments immediately popped up on the screen. All of them were extremely gossipy. They were all extremely curious about Xia Ping's experience. Not only was he good at writing novels, but he was also a winner in life, which made people envious. Seeing these comments, Xia Ping was speechless and didn't know what to say. What the hell? Before Xia Ping could say anything, an audience immediately exclaimed, "Everyone, look, where Black-Hearted Wolf is. This place is amazing. There are many beautiful women, all dressed in revealing clothes, very shameless." They saw that Xia Ping was surrounded by the Black Moon Tower. This was the most prosperous place in the whole of Black Moon City. There were many hotels, inns, bars, casinos, nightclubs, and all kinds of entertainment places. This was simply a money-squandering den. As the headquarters of the underworld organization, there were many places like this. Naturally, there were also many prostitutes. All of them were beautiful women with hot bodies, and also wore heavy makeup. Moreover, they were dressed in revealing clothes, as short as they could be. If it wasn't for the mandatory requirement of Black Moon City, they would all want to strip naked and desperately stand on the street to attract customers. One could imagine how shocking such a scene was. To the people of ordinary cities, it was simply unheard of. Only in Black Moon City could such a scene be seen. My God, what is this place? How can there be so many beautiful women? Such looks, such waists, such legs, not that I'm boasting, but I can play with them for 10 years. Shameless, what's wrong with women these days? Each and every one of them has no sense of shame, dressing up in revealing clothes, and wearing as short as they can. Why don't they just wear them? It's so cool like this. Personal experience, it's better to wear clothes. Only when they wear them will there be a sense of mystery, and it's boring to strip naked instead. The person above is an old driver, speaking from experience. Quick, look, that shameless woman. She's only wearing a shell from head to toe. She's playing at the edge like this, natural mosaic, very unscrupulous. The morals of the world are degenerating day by day, and people's hearts are not what they used to be. To think that they can even think of and wear such clothes, how can they let us men live? Shameless Black-Hearted Wolf, I'm still a child, still in high school, and he's already letting me watch such things. If this goes on, we'll die in the hands of this black-hearted wolf sooner or later. He's not even giving us a way out, and we can't even replenish our nutrition. I've long said that black-hearted wolf's live stream can't be watched, it really can't be watched, but you guys just have to watch it. Type with both hands to prove your innocence. A group of male netizens were boiling, all of them howling on the screen, completely stimulated by such a scene. And the popularity of the live stream was also rising steadily, the number of viewers rising from 500,000 to 1 million, and then to 5 million, and the number of viewers was even rising steadily. As expected of the boss, this kind of hype is too brilliant. But just now, he actually pretended that he didn't want to live stream, pretending to be pretentious here, and almost got fooled. Chapter 185. Seeing so many netizens explode, Xia Ping's mouth twitched. He originally wanted to say a few words and then close the stream, but he didn't expect to be discovered by netizens with sharp eyes. Black-hearted wolf, what is this place? Why are there so many beautiful women in revealing clothes? Tell me honestly, are they your harem? A netizen asked. Xia Ping was speechless. This isn't my harem. This is Black Moon City. These women are just salespeople on the streets. They have nothing to do with me. He wanted to explain clearly. What? This is the legendary Black Moon City. Isn't this a place of evil, where the underworld gathers, a place outside the law? How did you end up in this city? A netizen was very shocked. He had also heard of Black Moon City's reputation. It could be said that this city had many legends that circulated on the internet, but there were not many who actually entered Black Moon City. Yeah, Black Moon City is very dangerous. It's said that there are a lot of underworld figures there, all of them fierce and evil, all of them have seen blood. Every night, they open fire like firecrackers. It's very dangerous. You can't go out after midnight. Entering Black Moon City is no different from having half a foot in the gates of hell. Many netizens spoke out their own information about Black Moon City, all revealing their fear of Black Moon City. This was definitely a place that ordinary people could not set foot in. There were also some ordinary people who wanted to enter out of curiosity, but after entering, they all ended up very badly. This also caused many people to fear that place like a poisonous snake, not daring to take a step in. This also made Black Moon City even more mysterious. None of you understand. Another netizen seemed to be very familiar with Black Moon City. Although this is a dangerous place, outside the law, it is also a gathering place for nightclubs. It is a famous money-squandering den, attracting who knows how many wealthy martial artists to spend their money there. There are many beautiful women there, such as air hostesses, models, celebrities, nurses, doctors, teachers, and so on. I think that Black-hearted Wolf made some money and wanted to enter Black Moon City to enjoy himself. He wants to find a prostitute. He directly stated his deduction, and instantly the group of netizens exploded. Holy shit, shameless Black-hearted Wolf. I heard that this guy is only a high school student, but he actually traveled thousands of miles to Black Moon City just for the sake of prostitution. This is too absurd and shameless. Moreover, this bastard is still in his third year of high school. There's only 2 more months until the college entrance examination. Instead of studying hard and getting into a good university, he ran off to Black Moon City to harass people. What's wrong with young people nowadays? Even if your results are good, you can't do this. You're looking down on the college entrance exam. Is there any legal problem in this? She's only a high school student and she's going out to visit prostitutes. Hurry up and call the police to arrest her. Catch my ass. That's Black Moon City we're talking about, a place outside of the law. The Federation's laws can't control it at all. Awesome, I thought that Black-hearted Wolf was only an 18-year-old young man, and that there was a limit to his experience, but I didn't expect him to be this powerful. Even Sky Water City couldn't satisfy him, and he even developed to Black Moon City. Rabbits don't eat the grass near their burrows, but he ate all the grass near his burrow and started eating the grass in other places. He's hungry and can't be choosy. Many netizens discussed animatedly, and they were all in an uproar. Their faces were full of envy, jealousy, and hatred. Some people were even distressed. The current social atmosphere was too bad. Being so open as a high school student was too presumptuous. Everyone has misunderstood. I just came here to cultivate, not to do this kind of thing. Xia Ping explained. Cultivate my ass. You came to such a filthy place just to cultivate. Who are you lying to? Do you really think we're 3-year-old children? An uncle netizen said disdainfully, telling Xia Ping not to laugh at their intelligence. They were all 1,000-year-old foxes, so there was no need to lie to each other here. That's right, do you see those beauties on the street? They're all women who have lost their feet. Just give them money. You actually told me to cultivate here. What exactly do you want to cultivate? That's right. You see so many women who need you to save, and you still have the mood to cultivate? Cultivate my ass. Hurry up and pounce on them. I don't think Black-Hearted Wolf is lying. He's indeed here to cultivate, but it's to cultivate the 36 styles of the room. His goal is to pick up girls and be a pretty boy. Damn, he knows how to cultivate this kind of secret technique at such a young age. Amazing. Young people nowadays are amazing. A group of netizens peeled the silk from the cocoon and exposed Xia Ping's lies. All of them revealed looks of disdain. He had clearly gone to Black Moon City to have fun, but he was still pretending to be a little white rabbit here. Xia Ping felt that he was really too wronged. He clearly had no such thoughts, but the rumors spread, making it seem like he came to Black Moon City just to do some shady things. He coughed. Anyway, that's it. The live broadcast ends here. We'll talk again next time if there's a chance. With that, Xia Ping hung up the live broadcast and did not continue chatting. Otherwise, who knew how much more gossip would come out? But the group of netizens did not stop discussing. What's going on? He hung up after only a few minutes of live broadcast. Was he taken away by a beauty on the street? He must have gone to take a look. He's already come to a place like this, where would he have time to chat with you guys? Hurry up and do your business. Don't tell me you still want to stay here and chat. That makes a lot of sense. That damn Black-Hearted Wolf, how can his life be so comfortable? After tonight, who knows how many beauties will be ruined by him and saved from the sea of suffering. The difference between people is really too big. There's no way to compare. Don't casually watch Black-Hearted Wolf's videos in the future. It's too immoral and nutritious. You can't keep up at all. I also want to go to Black Moon City to see the world. Seeing those street beauties, I won't be able to sleep tonight. Isn't that so? Before, I always thought I was a rich second generation with a rich family, but after seeing Black Moon City, I realized that I'm just a country bumpkin who has never seen the world at all. It's indeed an eye-opener. In the future, if I don't go to Black Moon City for a prostitute, I won't be able to say I'm an old driver. Many netizens discussed. The flow of this live broadcast rose steadily. When Xia Ping ended the broadcast, the number of viewers had already reached 30 million. Who knew how many people knew about this? Ha, I'm rich this time. Wang Dachui was wild with joy. With this live broadcast promotion, his video would definitely be able to further increase its popularity, letting countless people know about the television series he produced. He was also secretly impressed. His boss was really too amazing. Every move he made could cause such a great impact.